So let's start the class, guys. So today we are in the digital business strategy subject. And this class is a very special class because we are going to apply the theories in our questions. That is, the questions in the practice revision kits that is officially published by Sri Lanka. So yeah, your examination questions are going to follow this method actually. So already we have covered the syllabus, and I just want to mention and justify you that the revision kit, it is published in the initial stage of the syllabus introduction, like a 2020 edition. If you go through the PDF of revision kit, the first publication revision is 2020. But your actual study text, it is revised in 2025 also, 2024, okay? It is revised in 2024, and a lot of the areas in the part A, it is replaced by the old study textbook, right? So you cannot see the old versions of study text in the new versions, but the revision kit, it has the the questions in the unrevised version of the study text also. So you have to follow the new study text, and also I will mention the some questions that are not applicable for your upcoming examination because those areas are removed in the syllabus. So I will mention that when I'm doing the questions actually. So hopefully we have done with management of technology area and digital transformation, artificial intelligence and information systems, ERP, e-business environment, e-business application, and marketing practices and mobile and social media and content marketing. So it's actually a beautiful subject, and you can understand we can make marks of like 80, maybe you can target as well as 90 marks. So that's how I plan to organize this subject for you, and that's the way I have made this subject available to you as well as, right? So in part A, we are going to cover the questions right now as well as, so I will just revise the areas we have covered here in the actual learning objective. This is the revised edition, okay? So this is the revised edition of the 10% of your syllabus. So where you need to have the knowledge of, the key concept of technology management. It means you must know the definition of technology, right? If someone asks in the question, what does it mean by technology? You must know the meaning of technology and the management of technology, the meaning of management of technology, and why we have to manage the technology and what are the components of technology. So these are the specific knowledge areas. And the new area is S-curve. So this area will not be covered in the upcoming questions because this is the new area. So there's no questions in that area. So these questions you can expect this question from you can expect questions from this area, but it is not actually in your revision kits because this is a new area introduced by CS Sri Lanka but not updated in revision kits, right? So the technology S curve, stages of S curve, and the meaning of strategy, what is meaning by strategy, and a lot of areas removed by CS Sri Lanka about strategy, okay? So before that, there is a lot of things in strategy, and they explained about intranet and intronet and extranet. There are a lot of small items they have discussed in the previous unrevised version. So in the revised versions, a lot of the things they have removed. Okay, and you must know the levels of strategy, or competitive advantages, and the determination of competitive advantage, and what is technology strategy, and what is technology development, and what are the generic strategies, what are the positioning strategies, and how the technology transfer is happening, and what are the channels of technology flow, and what is mean by flow, and mechanism for technology transfers, and what are the phases in the technology transfer. And finally, the knowledge management area, we must know the definition of knowledge management and what are the drivers of technology management and the benefits of technology management. So these are the areas we actually covered in your theory area. So now we are gonna move to the revision area. So the revision areas in the old revision kits, that is the revision kit, it is available in the website also. So business management and process and technology and managing technology in operation. So this is actually in your part A right now. So we are going to cover these areas. So actually this is a chapter 1 and chapter 2. So in the business management process and technology, we will have a question about 25 questions, and managing technology in organization. So we are going to face 28 questions. So hopefully I will try to cover as much as questions possibly in today's class. So this class is going to be like this. So you have to tell the answers. Then only I can proceed with the questions, right? So the first question is, what is strategy? So what's the meaning of strategy? That is the first question. So the first answer is, it's a course of action, including the specification of resources required to achieve a specific objective. And the second one is marketing and sales interaction with external parties. And the third one is digital procurement methods for vendor transactions and the technology development and implementation in an ERP environment, right? So these are the 4 answers they have given. So can you suggest me what is the answer? Sajita, Subhashini, Ashfa. We have very few people here. So please let me know the answer, then I can understand whether you are in the right track or not. Please guess the answer. So what's the strategy? What is the possible answer? Please let me know the possible answer. We don't need the correct answer. You can guess the answer from what we have, right? What we have read the, you already read the papers, you already read the notes, everything. So what could be the answer? Yeah, Subhashini, the A is the answer. And what about other persons? Ashfa, yes, A is the answer. Okay, right. What about Ashfa? Okay, fine. So the actual answer is A. That's good. Because guys, the strategy means, what we have learned about the strategy is, you know, a strategy definition, it aligns with the first one, right? It means a strategy, it's very essentially a high level plan. It is not in a management or operation level. It's in a very high level plan, and it outlines how an organization or individual, they can intends to achieve a particular goal. That's all about a strategy. So a strategy is essentially a very high level plan, and it outlines how an organization or individual intends to achieve a particular goal. And also, it includes identifying what needs to be done, and the strategy should specifying the resources. The resources in the sense human resources, what are the financial resources, what are the technological resources required to achieve that particular goal. And we have to set some clear objectives and some guidelines for the actions. So these are the meaning of strategy, right? So strategy in the sense, it's a very high level plan, and we need to achieve some particular goal, and it should include what are the resources we need, and what are the guidelines, and what are the objectives. So the key elements of strategies are, it is goal oriented, right? We are focusing on achieving some specific objectives or goal. And also it is have a planning, right? It includes formulating a plan, a course of action. So plan mean a course of action, and we have to allocate the resources. So it specifies the resources required to achieve the objectives. So obviously the answer is going to be the first one. And marketing and sales interaction with external parties, this is not a correct answer, because marketing and sales interaction with an external parties outside the organization, it describes a function. Marketing and sales, it's a function of a business. Within a business, it's a function or activity. It is specifically related to marketing and sales, which is not the same as strategy, right? So strategy, it involves overall plans and decision making. But marketing and sales are very tactical activities. It is used to execute a parts of a strategy, but it is not an actual definition of a strategy. So marketing and sales are, it is important function, but they are not strategies, you know. And digital procurement methods for vendor transactions, right? So this is also incorrect answer because it refers to a very specific operational process, namely digital procurement, and which is a method of conducting some transactions with vendors, it means suppliers, through some digital platform. That is e-procurement. While this procurement, it may be a part of a broader strategy. For an example, our strategies, we need to have a cost reduction. So for that strategy, we can have one part, that is we can go for a digital procurement or e-procurement. But it is not actually a strategy. So the strategy, it should involve a very big picture, the planning, decision making. But procurement is just a function within that plan. Okay, I hope so you understood. And the technology development and implementation in an ERP environment. We have studied a lot of about ERP environment. So guys, you know, the another specific operational task. So implementing an ERP system, it is a specific operational task, no? So developing and implementing a technology in an ERP environment, it is also referring to some activities that are involved in adapting and integrating an enterprise resource planning systems. So it is just similar to procurement and also similar to technology implementation. It can be a part of a broader strategic plan, but it is not a strategy in itself. So you must know a strategy, it always focus on why and how a technology should be developed and implemented to achieve some business goals, right? So that is actually a strategy. So as you said earlier, so the correct answer is going to be the A part, okay? So the correct answer is A, right? So you are in the correct track actually. And let's move to the question number 2. What is a policy? Policy, right? A policy. So what is the correct answer? The policy is all about a firm infrastructure. Infrastructure means how the firm is organized, or a way to deliver content to an external party, or guidance regarding the way in which an organization will seek to behave in relation to its stakeholders, or sales and analytics reporting. So what is a policy? Which one is the most suitable answer? Subhashin is saying the B is the correct answer. Okay. What about the other people? Sajita, Ashfa? Sajita, the C ones. Guidance regarding the way in which an organization will seek to behave in relation to its stakeholders. Okay. So let's have some kind of, this is a common question, guys. So first, a policy. You know, inventory management policies are there. Okay. And there are a lot of policies as an accountant students, you know about it. So the correct answer for this, the C. Okay. Guidance regarding the way in which an organization will seek to behave in relation to its stakeholders. So that is actually the correct answer. So why this is a correct answer? Because a policy means it is typically defined as a formal set of guidelines. So there are some guidelines or some sort of rules. So that rules or that guidelines, it directs how an organization should behave in some specific situations in relation to certain stakeholders. For an example, you know, leave application policy. So the stakeholders are employees. So the employees should behave in this particular manner. It means you have to take an approval from a particular manager, your relevant immediate reporting manager, then you have to get an approval from HR. So this is a policy for the employees. So those are the stakeholders. They have to behave in such a way they have organized, right? So that is a policy. So you have to understand The policies are the rules or guidelines. It's direct how an organization should behave in a particular situations in relation to some specific situations relation to certain stakeholders. So these stakeholders are including employees, customers, suppliers, or the general public, So the policies, they provide a framework for decision making. Framework means, so this is the step-by-step approach you have to make a decision making, and it ensures the consistent and ethical behavior in an organization, right? So it means this option clearly captures the essence of what a policy is, by emphasizing the guidance provided to an organization on how it should interact with its stakeholders. So that is something called a policy. So that is the correct answer for actually. So for 2, the correct answer is going to be the C. Okay. And why other options are incorrect is because you can see the firm infrastructure. So firm infrastructure, it means it refers to some internal structure and systems of a company, such as its organizational structures, how the companies organize, the CEO, under CEO, there are some managers and things, and how the facilities are organized, how these managements are working. So while this infrastructure is very crucial for operation, but it is not a policy actually, right? So infrastructure refers to the tangible resources and also systems that supports the company's activities. But a policy, it's a set of rules or guidelines for behavior and also decision making. So that's what we have chosen the answer C. And also the B, a way to deliver content to an external party, that also not an option because it describes a communication process, a way to deliver content to an external party. So this option describes actually a communication process or some sort of method. It's not a policy, right? So delivering the content to external parties, it's maybe a part of an operational task or procedure, but it doesn't describe the broader guidance or rules that shape the organizational behavior or decision making. But that is something called the role of the policy, right? And the D part, sales and analytics reporting. So sales and analytics reporting, it's a function of process, it's a function or it's a process. And it involves analyzing and presenting some, sales data to support decision making. While this may be influenced by a policy, for example, sales reporting policy, right? That policy influences the how the analytics reporting should come. But it is not actually a policy in itself. A policy, it should provide a framework for behavior and also decision making, whereas the sales reporting is just an activity carried out within that framework. So the actual correct answer is going to be the C part. Did you get my point, guys? Why we are choosing the C as an answer? Right? So then let's move to the question number 3. Long-term strategies concerned with how many horizons, right? So this is actually a old syllabus question. So we are not going to think about this one. So let's forget about these questions. This is not applicable for your current syllabus. And let's move to the another 4th one. It is actually a common sense question. What is an SBU? So most of the places in your study text, it is mentioned, what does it mean by an SBU, right? And this is also actually connected with your previous, not updated syllabus, but you can make some guess here. SBU mean it is strategic business unit or special business undertaking, systems batch update, or What's your guess? Subhasini saying D. What about Sajita and Ashfa? Yes. Strategic business unit. Actually, that's the meaning of, strategic business unit. That's the meaning of D. And that is the D part is the answer. And also, guys, this is for this answer, the horizons means there are, three. It means the D is the answer for three also. So you just remember there are some horizons it's connected with long-term strategy, but for the moment, it is not in your syllabus. Okay. And the fifth question, the strategic management occurs at how many levels in large organizations? So this is applicable for your questions. So strategic management occurs at how many levels in very large organizations? How we are gonna manage our strategies? In which levels we need to manage our strategies? 3, 5, or 9, or 10? What's that? Subhashin is saying A is the answer, and Sajita is saying A is the answer. And what about Ashfa? Can't you remember, guys? The strategic management, it will occur at, operational levels, management or tactical level, strategic level. So there are three levels actually, right? So the answer is going to be A, as you all said. And the next question number 6. Corporate strategy deals with which of the following? Corporate strategy, not operational, not management, the third stage, corporate strategy, strategic strategy, okay, strategic level. So corporate strategy deals with which of the following? The first one is overall purpose and scope of an organization, differing parts of an organization such as marketing and sales, or how to compete successfully in a particular markets, or technology development as a part of IT and infrastructure. So corporate strategy deal with which of the following? What is the answer? Yes, Sajita, the answer is A. Ashpa, the answer is A. And Shubhasini's answer is A. It is a very simple guess question. Yes, the corporate strategy always deals with overall purpose and the scope of an organization, right? So not with, not with different parts like marketing or sales. It's kind of management levels. So the correct answer is overall purpose and scope of an organization, because the corporate strategy always concerned with defining the overall direction of the company, overall purpose, overall scope of the organization. For an example, it addresses like questions like what is the purpose of the company, and in which industry should the company operate, and what are the long-term goals of the company. So this is overall purpose, that is corporate strategy, right? For example, companies like Google's parent company Alphabet, their corporate strategy, it's under Alphabet. It involves expanding into various business segments such as search, advertising, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, hardware. That is corporate strategy. So it defines overall scope area. So they are trying to work on cloud computing, advertising, Google search engine. So these are the overall scope, and also their direction, and it determining which businesses to enter and how the resources are allocated. So that is overall purpose and scope of an organization. But the B parts, it means the different parts of an organization such as marketing and sales. So this is incorrect, because it relates to a functional strategy, right? Like a tactical or operational level strategy. And also it focuses on how specifically some departments like marketing or sales or HR operates within a company. So that is not a corporate strategy, but corporate strategy at a higher level, it determining the overall scope and also the purpose of the company. But functional strategies, like different parts, marketing and sales, functional strategy, they are focusing on how individual parts or departments of the organization contribute to the overall corporate strategy. So we cannot get the B as a corporate strategy answer. And the C one, that also incorrect. How to compete successfully in a particular market. This is also a description of business level strategy. Compete successfully in a particular market. It is in a business level strategy, also known as a competitive strategy. So it is focused on how an individual business unit, right, SBU, strategic business unit, in a specific market. So corporate strategy, it always focuses on the overall portfolio of a business, not in a specific market. Overall portfolio we will consider. It means overall markets that company should be involved. For an example, you can take Samsung. So Samsung company, they decides how to position itself in the smartphone market. That is corporate strategy. It means focusing on innovation, customer experience, cost leadership. You know, some So this is a business level strategy. Sorry, it's a business level strategy, because they are focusing on some specific areas, right? So those are the areas you have to focus. So how to compete successfully in a particular market is a management or business level strategy, right? I hope so. You made the sense. And technological development as a part of IT and infrastructure, this is also correct because it also relates more to an operational or functional level IT strategy, because it very much focuses on how this technology supports to companies' overall corporate strategy, right? So that's what we have chosen the answer, the A1, because the overall purpose and scope of an organization is related with corporate strategy. And let's move for the question number 7th, actually. So the question number 7th, technology contributes significantly to value creation in how many main ways? This is also not related with our actual current syllabus, but I will tell the answer. The answer is 3, but you don't need to bother about this one. These are replaced by the new study text. Okay, the answer is B, but you don't need to worry about this question. And the 8th one is, what did Michael Porter Davis, I think his name is, what did Michael Porter Davis? Data models or marketing strategies or value chain or technology innovation? What's the correct answer, guys? It means Michael Porter has invented something. Is it data models or marketing strategies, value chain or technology innovation? What is the answer? Subhashini, answer is C. Sajita? I have mentioned this in our notes also. Michael Porter's value chain. So Michael Porter is a renowned economist. And also he is an academic person who introduced the concept of value chain. So the value chain concept is introduced by Michael Porter. Okay. And also we know the value chain means it's a framework. It helps the businesses to identify primary activities of an organization and what are the support activities that are create value for their product or services. And it shows, how companies can improve these activities to gain some competitive advantage. So the model is widely used in strategic management to analyze the internal operations and understand where the value can be added. Can you remember the inbound logistics, outbound logistics, operations, right? And the supporting activities like procurement, technology development. Can't you remember, guys? We have discussed in normal business scenario and also in e-business environment also. How in e-business environment the value chain will be. Right? I hope so. You can remember. So Michael Porter, he introduced the value chain concept, not about, a data model or something. So data model, it is not connected with Michael Porter, right? Data models are something like, it is essential for structure the data. And it is widely used in some IT and business analytics. So they are not a concept introduced by Porter. His primary contributions are in competitive strategy and also the value creation frameworks, the Michael Porter's contribution. And marketing strategies, although marketing strategies are very essential to a business, but Michael Porter did contribute very indirectly to the marketing strategy, not directly. By addressing how the firms can achieve some competitive advantage, he's more very famous for his competitive forces model. There are something called Porter's 5 forces model that also introduced by Porter's 5 forces model in the value chain, right? So you have to understand these things. and the technology development and technology innovation. So Porter's work is focused on business strategy and also competitive advantage, not on technology innovation. So while the technology can be a factor in gaining a competitive edge, Porter's contribution do not specifically center on innovating new technology, but rather on businesses can use existing resources to enhance the value chain, right? So he focused on the value chain and Porter's five forces model, not in data models or marketing strategies or technology innovation. So the correct answer for the D is going to be C, means the value chain. Okay. Then please read an answer for this question number 9. Value chain analysis can be used to what? Assess the impact of technology or e-procurement website initiatives, extranets and intranets, or the profits of an organization. So out of this, which area we can use the value chain analysis? What is your guess? Guys? First of all, can you remember all of you what we have learned about value chain? Can you all remember that? What are the areas in a value chain? I can show you the image if you want. Right, let me show you some images part. So this is the value chain, guys. So this is what we have learned in a value chain analysis, right? Here, see, these are the primary Porter's value chain. Porter's value chain. These are the primary activities: inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services. These are the primary activities of a Porter's value chain, where these are the primary activities that adding value to a company. And the support activities is procurement, technology development, human resource management, and firms infrastructure. It means in a value chain, we can use this value chain to identify what are the inbound logistics items that are adding primarily value, and what are the operations items that are primarily adding value to our companies. What are the outbound logistics activities that are creating value? What are the marketing and sales activities that are creating value? What are the services, after sales services, it is creating value as a primary activities? And what are the procurement systems, it is adding value as a support activities for our products and services? And what are the technology development, it is adding value to our products and services? What are the human resource management we are having? What are the firm infrastructure? So according to this model, now tell me the correct answer. It assesses the impact of technology or e-procurement website initiatives or extranets, intranets, the profits of an organization. Yes, Vidurshan, A is the answer. Sajita, A is the answer. Subhashini, C is the answer. Here, guys, we have to know in value chain, we are not discussing anything about extranets or intranets. So, Subhashini, we cannot discuss anything about extranets or intranets, right? Profits, no. We are not discussing anything about the profits of an organization in a value chain. The value chain simply, guys, we are analyzing how these primary activities and support activities are adding value to our company. Value is something, profit is something different. So it's not about intranet or extranet. And also, we are not talking about e-procurement website initiatives. We are having a procurement. Procurement means the purchases. E-procurement website initiatives means starting an e-procurement website. But think about assess the impact of technology. It means the technology development. So they are indirectly mentioning the area technology development, as we can assess the impact of technology through value chain analysis. Okay. So we have this section, the technology development. According to that, we can assess how much the impact of technology created value in our organization, products, and services. Are you getting my point? So the actual answer to this question is going to be the A. It means the value chain we can use to assess the impact of technology in our company's value creation. Not about e-procurement website initiatives or extranets or intranets or the profits of an organization. Are you getting my point? Okay. I hope so. I made sense with you. And let's move with the other question. Question number 10. Office automation systems are which of the following? Okay. So I have talked about you with the systems, right? We have executive information systems. We discussed about transaction process systems and what are the strategic level system, management or operational level systems. I have discussed with you everything. So let me know the answer. Office automation systems, which are of the following? It means IT applications that uh, improve productivity in office, or a way of organizing the file structures, or measurement of quality, or technology reporting. What could be the answer for the question number 10? Guess and tell me. Right? Subhashini's answer is B. Mm-hmm. So what is the definition we have for office automations? Can you remember that one? OAS, we have learned about something called OAS. Can you remember? Office automation systems in an information systems. Can't you remember, guys? I told you like office automation systems, like examples are word processing software. You know, can't you remember? These are actual softwares. Word processing, desktop publishing. Can't you remember? So you have to know IT applications that improve the productivity in an office. That is office automations. We are working with documents. Can't you remember with my notes? Right? The first one, the A is the answer for these questions. Why is A is the correct answer? Office automation system, it refers to use of computer-based tools and software, guys, to carry out the office task more efficiently. You know, these systems, it streamline our very routine office work. It allowing for improved productivity through some automations of tasks like, document processing, communication, scheduling, data management. It includes tools like word processing, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Gmail, email system, project management software, databases. Those are help the office workers to be more productive. For an example, Microsoft Office suite, it has Word, Excel, Outlook, Microsoft. So these are the examples of office automation tools. It enhances our productivity in office environments. It allows employees to create, process, and store and communication the information very efficiently. And Google Workspace, Google Documents, Google Sheet, and Google Calendar. These are Google Workspace is also another office automation system. It facilitate and collaborate organization through some cloud-based tools, and it is improving the productivity. So you have to remember, office automation systems are actual IT applications. It means computer softwares. It improve the productivity in an office, right? And why we are not considering the B as an answer? A way of organizing the file structures. Okay, because While organizing the file structure is part of what the automation systems can help with. You know, this option is very too narrow. It means the file structure means whether we are going to have a PDF file or word processing file, docx files, when we are serving a document or text file. It is very narrow. It is not about office automation system. It is just a one simple piece in the software, a way of organizing the file structures and a measurement of quality. Office automation systems, it do not specifically measure the quality. While they may help to improve the quality of the work, but their primary function is to automate the task and improve the productivity, not directly measure the quality. That is not office automation systems. And technology reporting, no, technology reporting is a specific task that might be facilitated by office automation system, but it is not the core function of such systems. The main purpose of office automation to improve the productivity across wide range of office tasks rather than focusing solely on reporting. It's not about reporting. So the correct actual fit answer is the A. You guys getting my point, guys? Subhashini, Sajita, Vidurshan, Ashfa, are you getting my points? These are very general questions. Not very hard. Okay. And let's move to question number 11 then. Which of the following is considered groupware? Actually, specifically, we have discussed this. Organizational functional areas, a method for arranging a business into business process areas or procurement process with key groups, a collection of tools to assist a collaborative work in an organization. What could be the answer? What could be the answer? What is the answer? Subhashini? Subhashini is saying D, no? Like, what is that? A collection of tools assist to collaborative work in an organization. Ashfa? Dilakshan? Sajita? Vidurshan? What could be the answer? You have to read my notes and you have to read, can't you remember what we have, guys, the correct answer is a collection of tools to assist collaborative work in an organization. It means the A, sorry, D is the answer. Why? Because you can see in our notes also, groupware means it refers to some software tools, but it is specifically designed to help the teams and groups to collaborate, communicate, and work together, often in a real-time environment. So these tools enables sharing information, coordination of tasks, and communication across different locations, making them essential for modern organizations that rely on teamwork or collaboration. For an example, Microsoft Teams. Can you remember? MS Team, Microsoft Teams software. That is one of a group where all the people can work together. A collaboration platform where the members can chat, hold meetings, they can share files, and they can work together on documents in a real time. And also some calendars, we can work together. And there is an app called Slack. I introduced you a group communication tool that enables team to organize conversation, share the files, and integrate with other tools. And also Google Workspace, like Google Documents, Google Drive, Google Calendars. So we can work together. So the actual answer is a collection of tools to assist collaborative work in an organization. Collaborative means everyone is working together, right? So organizational functional areas, organizational functional areas mean it refers to some divisions within a company based on functions like marketing, sales, or human resources. Those are the functional areas. This is not related to groupware. The groupware, it is focused on collaboration tools. So functional areas are just a part of an organizational structure, not a software for collaboration. So we cannot consider A as an answer. And B, a method for arranging a business into business process area. A method for arranging a business into a business process areas. No, this is not an answer. Because a method for arranging a business into business process area means business process restructuring or re-engineering. That's what in the B they're saying. It involves organizing a business by processes, not by using collaborative tools like groupware. You know? So groupware is a set of tools. It helps to work as a team, regardless of how a big business is structured. So that's not a concern. B, we cannot consider. And procurement process with key process. Procurement process with key groups. It means, guys, it refers to some process of acquiring goods and services. That is procurement, no? Typically involving suppliers and key groups in negotiation and contract. While procurement may involve collaboration, but it is not specifically what groupware means. So groupware is just focused on enabling some collaboration within the team via some software systems. You know, so the answer actually for groupware, it is the D1. Guys, are you okay with the question? Did you understand what I'm trying to say? Actually, I have provided notes and it is actually in your study text. So you have to have more focus on your study text actually. Please read that again and again. Did you understand? Dilakshan, Subhashini, Sajita, Vidurshan, Ashfa, are you okay? So then let's move to the question number 12 again. What is workflow system? Workflows means what? Most of the time I use this word in our classes also. Workflow system. Just guess the answer. A series of tasks which must be performed in order to achieve a specific result or outcome in an organization, or a method of development, a pure research, or a way of automating the business process within HR. What can be the answer? Dilakshan A and Sajita is A. Bashini and Vidurshan. Yeah, Vidurshan. The answer is A. A simple workflow. The answer is in the actual question. You know, it is going to be a series of tasks which must be performed in order to achieve a specific result or outcome in an organization. So the actual answer is A. Why this is the answer? Because it, a workflow system means, guys, it refers to a sequence of tasks. It means orderly, we have to perform the task that need to complete it in a specific order to achieve a particular outcome or goal. So the workflow systems, it often involve like automating the process, coordinating some human and machine tasks, and ensuring that, the work moves through an organization efficiently. So that is workflow. For an example, we can say document approval process. That's a workflow. In many organizations, when a document like contract or proposals, it needs to be approved. So a workflow system might automate the process of sending the document to various managers for the review. And after the review, they will approve the document. And finally, some sign off will be there, right? So there are some tools like Asana, Trello. There are some tools. They're tracking these automated things, workflow systems. So that is actually a workflow. So the answer is A. And a method of development. So this is not an option, right? It doesn't capture the essence of a workflow systems, right? Pure research, pure research means it's a scientific or some kind of academic investigation aimed to discover some new knowledge. That is pure research. And also pure research and applied research that is removed from your syllabus. It's not related to workflow systems. And a way of automating the business process with HR, while the workflow systems, it can be used within HR. But that is a very limited answer. That is only related with HR. No? So the workflow systems, it is applicable across all the departments and functions, not just within HR department. So the workflows, it designed to handle tasks in various areas such as finance, IT, marketing, etc. But it is not restricted to HR functions only. So the exact correct answer is going to be the A, right? That's just a simple question. And let's move to the question number 13. Which of the following describes an intranet? Right? Most of the time we have discussed this intranet. So what is your answer for this? Please guess and tell me the answer with the knowledge we already gained in our classes. What is your answer? Subhashini is A, Dilakshan is A, and Vidurshan. What about your answer? Sajita, Ashfa, Vidurshan is A. Right. So an internal network used to share information using internet technology and protocols. So that is the answer. E-procurement website used to purchase from vendors. No, that is not intranet. A group of systems to connect to an ERP. No. An all-up online analytical procedure for data analytics and reporting. No, that is not connected with intranet. This is a very simple question. So guys, we have to know intranet is a very private and secure internal network. So only organizations, people, employees can use, not outsiders, right? It's a very secure and internal network used in a business organization. So they will share some information about the companies and the resources and some services among the employees. So it is built using internet technologies and protocols. Protocols means like HTTP, hypertext transfer markup language, HTTP. We will use HTTP, Java. So those are protocols. There's IP address, but it is restricted to internal use only. Only the company's authorized people. So typically the access limited to authorized users in the company. That is intranet. Okay. And the e-procurement website and purchase from vendors means, an e-procurement website. We have studied a lot about e-procurement. The e-procurement website, it's like an external facing system that allows the businesses to interact with the suppliers for purchasing some goods and services. While it may use the internet protocols, but it is not an internal network for the employees. Instead, it's just a part of an organizational external operations with the vendors, right? So what's the example of systems I used to explain? Ariba, right? Ariba, it is introduced by SEP system. It is a procurement platform used by the companies to buy from suppliers. But it is not an intranet. It's an e-commerce tool, right? E-procurement means the website is an e-commerce tool. It is focused on vendor relations, not with the intranet, right? And our group systems to connect an ERP, it refers to system integration. ERP means particularly within an ERP environment. So ERP connects various business process, right? It's not an internal communication network like an intranet. So ERP is very much focused on resource management, but intranet focuses on sharing internal information and collaboration with the inside people, right? So SEP ERP, they connects finance, HR, supply chain system, but this is not an intranet. It integrates the business functions. But intranet, it's for sharing information within the company, right? And also we have studied about OLAP also, right? It is for data analytics and reporting, OLAP. It means online analytical procedure, online analytical processing. That is OLAP. It's a technology used for data analytics. It allows companies to make some complex queries and reporting. It is solely focused on business intelligence area. It is not an internal network. So all up, it focuses on data processing and also analysis, guys. While in intranet, it is about communication and sharing with an organization. Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, these are the use of all of technology that analyze the data. But these platforms are not intranets, right? So these are just tools like business intelligence, not for internal information sharing. So the exact correct answer, as you mentioned, the first one, A is the correct answer. And let's move to the question number 14. When access to an intranet is extended to trusted external agencies such as supply and customers, it become which of the following? This is also old syllabus area, but we can make some guess, but it is an old syllabus replaced areas. What is that? So we have an intranet, but we are giving some access to trusted external agencies like suppliers and customers. Then it become that, what is the name? So in the old syllabus, it's there, but not in the new. Subhashin is saying B, the election is saying B. Yes, exactly. Correct. So I hope you all read the the old study text, right? Ravichandran Vidushan B. So we cannot say intranet because intranet only for inside people. We cannot give access to outside people. If we give the access to outside people, then it will become intranet, right? So the exact correct answer is intranet. So only for some specific people, if we are giving that, we are considering as an intranet. Okay, so the correct answer is going to be the B. So B is going to be the answer. Okay. So then you have to know, guys, expert systems. So expert system, this is nothing. It's like an artificial intelligence. It works with some rules and logic, some mimic to take some decision-making ability like human experts. But it's not providing access to external parties via an internet. So that is something different, expert system. And ERP, yes, all of you know, it refers to some software systems. It integrate various business functions like finance, HR, supply chains. So ERP systems are, it's for collaborations. They do not specifically referring to intranet access or extranet. So ERP, expert system, we cannot mention. And intranet, it is solely for the use of internal people. But intranet, if we are having an intranet, but we are giving some special access to a very specific area to our customers or suppliers, the trusted external agencies, then it will call as an intranet, right? This is in your old syllabus actually. We don't need to worry about much. And let's move to the question number 15. How does a supranet differ from an intranet? This is also, old syllabus area, but you can make some guess what's the answer. What is that? Make some guess because you don't need to worry much about this question. This is an all syllabus area. Most probably you won't get any questions in this area. So Subhashini, I received answer from Subhashini, that is A. Okay. So exactly the correct answer is going to be A. Okay. So A is the correct answer. How does a supranet differ from an intranet? A supranet, it is set up in a cooperative fashion and control is not exercised by a single host, right? So you don't need to worry about much, but I will explain to you some extents, right? So a supranet, it's kind of a network that operates across multiple organizations, not with one organization. So only with our organization system, no. It works with multiple organizations. And it is typically established in a cooperative manner. So in contrast to an intranet, which is controlled by a single organization, it means intranet means it is controlled by one organization, single organization. But supranet, it involves a shared control. The control is shared with multiple organizations and the collaboration and multiple parties. So it decentralizes the structure. It allows the organization to share the resources, data, and services without a single entity controlling the entire system. That is a very important. So here see, A supranet, it is set up in a cooperative fashion. Cooperative, it means there are a lot of organizations are there. It is not belongs to one single organization like intranet, right? So intranet, it is belongs to one single organization. It is only for internal people. Supranet, in the sense, uh, it is belongs to multiple organizations. So the control is not with a single organization. And intranet means actually it is an intranet, but we are giving access to a very trusted people only for a specific area. I hope so I'm making sense with you, right? For an example, guys, uh, some companies, right? So they have various financial institutions. So they have a they have a network, and they are exchanging the information very securely. So that is called supranet. So the other options are not an options. Employees do not use an intranet. No, I cannot say that one. This option is irrelevant to the definition of supranet, right? So employees, they typically use the intranets within their organizations for their internal communication, and they're sharing the resources. Whether or not employees use an intranet, it doesn't relate to the difference between the supranet and intranet, right? So we cannot see as an answer. And procurement is only undertaken in an intranet. No, this is also not a correct option, because procurement, it means purchasing. It can happen on many platforms. Like we can make procurement in intranets and extranets, or even some standalone procurement systems. So the procurement, it is not exclusively for intranets. And the key difference between a supranet and intranet lies in the control and cooperative. So when we are differentiating the intranet and supranet, in intranet, the control is within a single person, single organization, but supranet, a lot of people have a control. Okay. And technology development of supranet is cheaper. There is no clear evidence, guys. The technology development for supranet is inherently cheaper. The cost can vary depending on the scale and complexity, and also the infrastructure of the network. So we cannot say it's a cheaper one. So the correct answer for this question is the A, because the supranet have a cooperative fashion and control. So it means multiple organizations have a control, but intranet, only single organization have a control, but they give some sort of access to other external people. That is intranet, but actually it is an intranet. Am I made sense to you? Dilakshan, Subhashini, Sajita, Ashfa. Did you get my points, guys? So intranet, it is only applicable for internal people. There is no access to external people. It is controlled by a single organization. Okay. Intranet means actually it is an intranet, but is a bit of access given to a business trusted people. That is intranet. And supranet means that is controlled by multiple organizations, right? They have the control. That's the main thing you have to consider when you are questioning. But it won't, I guess you are not going to get some questions about intranet, extranet, because there is no much in your new syllabus. And what is an expert system? So I actually explained to you expert system in the previous question. Can you guess me the answer? Can you guess the answer, please, for me? What's the answer? So Subhashin is saying B is the answer, and the election is saying C is the answer. Expert system. A system only used by an advanced user. A method of managing information in relation to experts in a given field. A computer program that captures human expertise in a limited domain of knowledge. Technology used to manage reporting. What is an expert system? So Ravichandran Vidurshan, C is the answer. Okay. So the correct answer is for question number 16 is, guys, it is C. It means a computer program. So in the previous question also, when we are talking about, 14th for expert system, I said it's like a chat GPT, artificial intelligence. It's mimic the human's decision making. That's expert system. So that's what a computer program that captures the human expertise in a very limited domain of knowledge, means in a particular area only. That is expert system. So, as an expert system, it's a type of artificial intelligence. It uses the knowledge and some reasoning of human experts to solve some complex problems with a very specific domain. What it means by specific domains mean in a very, very niche area. It's only in medicine, only in finance, only in engineering, like that. That's called a limited domain of knowledge, right? So these systems, it's mimic the decision-making abilities of a human expert by applying some logical rules and some structured knowledge to some specific problems. So nowadays they are very widely used in some fields. The expertise is very essential, but not always available on demand, such as medicine, finance, engineering. So they are using, right? So that is expert system. And a system only used by an advanced user, no, that is not an expert system. So while the expert system, it can assist some advanced users, but they are not exclusively used by them. These systems are designed to provide some specialized knowledge to users. So they might have some varying expertise levels. So some people, some non-experts people, very low level people also, they are using the chat GPT. So that is not only for advanced user, we cannot say. And the C answer, a computer, C is the correct answer. B, a method of managing information in relation to experts in a given field. No. So it describes about knowledge management. So the B actually describing about our KM, knowledge management system, rather than expert system. So knowledge management, we are focusing on collecting the knowledge and organizing the knowledge, how we are going to sharing the knowledge within our organization, but it doesn't replicate expert reason, like an expert system does. So an expert system, it goes beyond managing the information. It processes and applies it to some, decision making based on the expert level reasoning. So that's not the B is not the answer. And technology used to manage reporting. This is also incorrect because it refers just more to reporting tools or some business intelligence systems. So that organization process present the data, but it doesn't describe the nature of an expert system. So expert systems are designed to solve the problems using the expert knowledge, but not just to manage some generate reports, right? So hope I'm making sense to you. And let's move to the question number 17. And please guess the answer. What is analytical inquiry software used for? Right? To manage online transactional process or to produce reports at any levels of summarization, incorporating and comparisons or relations describes, and pure research to maintain and update customer information. So what is analytical inquiry software used for? Let's answer for question number 17. We have studied, we have discussed about these analytics and query tools and what are the available market leaders, everything, right? So Dilakshan, the answer is B, and Subhashini, the answer is B. What about other people? Sajita, Ashba, Dilakshan? So what's the answer? So the answer is, guys, for 17, the B is the answer. To produce reports at any level of summarization, incorporating any comparisons or relationships desired. So analytical and query software, it is designed to analyze some large sets of data and it will produce some reports. So we can summarize and we can compare by, another company, or we can compare by last year numbers, and we can highlight some relationship within the data. So this type of softwares, it allows users to generate customized reports, and we can perform some data mining, and we can have some visualization and visualization about the company's trends and some patterns in the data. And it's commonly used for some decision making, guys. Analytical query softwares. It's forecasting, and we can gain some insights into our business operations. So tools like Microsoft Power BI, I always tell you, its software allows users to query the data, custom reports, visualize relationships in real-time environment. And in Microsoft Power BI, we can handle very large data sets. And Tableau, a data visualization tool. So those are the areas, right? And so this is why the answer is going to be the B part. And to manage online transactional process, we don't need that one, right? So managing online transaction process, it is the topic of transaction processing system, TPS. It's not analytical or query softwares. So the TPS system, transaction processing systems, it handled the day-to-day operations, like, processing the orders, making payments or payroll. So transactional process, it is not related with analytical or query software. That is TPS, transaction processing systems, one of the information systems, right? So these analytical softwares, they are used for analyzing the data, generating the report. So we are generating reports from the actual transaction, not managing the transaction. That is TPS. Okay. I hope so I'm making sense. And as I told you earlier, pure research in this sense, we can use the software for pure researching, but it is not for analytical and query softwares, right? So analytical and query softwares, it can be used for business reporting and decision making, but we cannot conduct some scientific or academic research. The software is applied in research settings like a data analysis, but the primarily intention is generating some business insights, summarizing the operational data, not for performing pure research. Pure research means we are going to find some undiscovered area. So the research is not done by any people in that area. So we are the first one, we are doing that research. That is pure research, right? And to maintain and update customer information, no, this is incorrect, because maintaining and updating the customer information is the function of CRM, customer relationship management systems, not analytical and query software. So the CRM systems like, Salesforce, in the lecture videos also I told you, CRM systems are customer relationship management. The biggest CRM systems in the US is Salesforce. They designed to store the data, manage the customer information, and it will automatically update the customer data. And the analytical softwares, we are very much focusing on analyzing the data. Okay. So Salesforce is a kind of CRM software, but Power BI Tableau is we are using for data analytic purpose. So you want to know the differences in a deep analytic level. So let's move to the question number 18. How many steps must be considered when developing and implementing a KM system? This is also, guys, an area of your old syllabus. We don't need to concern, but there are actually 5 steps. We don't need to concern about this one because it is not no more in your syllabus. Okay. And let's move to question number 19. In their text management information systems, Lorden highlighted that one apt observation about knowledge management is which of the following. This is also not in your current syllabus area. This is removed from your syllabus, but actually the answer is the A1. Okay. So let's move to the other question. Question number 20. Research and development can be which of the following, right? R&D means what? We can guess this actually. What does it mean by R&D? A method for utilizing the technology in an organization. Is it that mean by R&D, research and development? Or an important source of innovation for companies? Or firm infrastructure that has been expanded? Or useful models for implementing change? What can be? Dilakshan is saying B, Subhashini B, Dilakshan B. What about other? Vidurshan, Ashpa? So the actual answer is going to be, so the question number 20 is, but yes, as all of you said, it is B. Okay. So research and development. We are researching about some new product, new service, new innovation, right? for our companies. So that is research and development. So like companies like Facebook, they are doing research and development in millions and billions of dollars, right? So the R&D, the research and development is an important source of innovation for companies because the innovation is happening from that R&D. So the research and developments are very crucial for companies to innovate. It means coming up with new ideas, new products in a new way. And if they want to stay competitive in the marketplace, they want to do innovation. So the innovations means it involves, investing with new technologies, new processes, and new product development, right? So it can lead our companies to, move forward. So this research and development, that in some companies they have a departments, R&D departments. So those departments solely focus on creating new products and improving the existing products and developing some new technologies, to keep moving the companies on the cutting edge. So the innovation is often the result of successful research and development efforts, right? So you have to know about this one. And we can say the first one, what is that? A method for utilizing technology in an organization. No, this is incorrect. R&D, research and development, it might result in utilizing a new technology. Okay. So we used a new technology, then, so because of that one, we are doing research and development. But the main primary focus is not just on the application of existing technology, but it's on creating new technologies or improving some existing ones. So you must know the scope of the R&D, research and development, is very broader, and it is directly tied to innovation and discovery, not to use technology, right? And B is the exact answer. Why C is not the answer? Firm infrastructure that has been expanded. Firm infrastructure means the organizational structure and how the operational framework is, such as, how the management system is there, the accounting, IT, their infrastructure. But R&D, that is focused on creating a new knowledge, new innovation. The infrastructure, that is just refers to some tools, systems a company used to support its operation. But R&D, it's not about just expanding the infrastructure. It is about creating new products or services, right? So that is R&D. And they said useful models for implementing change. No, it is not that one. So useful models to implementing change, like change management, right? There's something called change management. You might be studied in your AAT's business level, I think AAT BMA subject, business management, change management, right? So these are some strategies. It can help companies to manage the transitions during some significant organizational changes. For example, if they're adapting a new technology or they're restructuring the organizations, that is some models we can implement change management tools. But R&D is something a different scope, right? It focuses on innovation and discovery again, not on models of implementing some change, right? So the correct answer is the B. And let's move to the question number 21. Which of the following best describes pure research? Okay, right? So a lot of time I have explained to you in this class also. What does it mean by pure research? Can you guess the answer? None original research undertaken by non-specialist. Original research work with a specific practical aim or application. The use of existing scientific and technical knowledge to produce new products or processes, or original research to obtain new scientific or technical knowledge or understanding with no obvious commercial or practical end in view. What could be the answer for question number 21? Can you guess and tell me the answer, please? So Vidurshan Singh is D, Dilakshan is D, Subhashan is D. Okay, Ashpa, Sajita. So the correct answer is going to be For the 21st is D. Okay. So many times I told you, pure research, just, it's a basic or fundamental research, but it is conducted to expand our understanding or some basic scientific principle. So the primary goal of the primary goal of this pure research is, guys, to gain some new knowledge, not an existing knowledge. We are trying to gain some new knowledge or some new insights. And also we don't have an, kind of immediate intention of applying to practical problems or commercial ventures, right? So that is something called a pure research. It means the original research. It means it's not conducted before. It's an original research to obtain some new scientific or technical knowledge. We are going to have some scientific or technical knowledge, but a new knowledge or some new understanding with no obvious commercial or practical end in view. So we don't have any obvious commercial or practical. It might be end up with some, good commercial products or not. We don't have any obvious curiosity. It is not the primary goal is to gain a new knowledge. We don't have an immediate intention of applying it to a practical problem, so we can create some commercial ventures. No, we don't have options like that. So that is something called pure research. So the D is the correct answer. So now, why the A is not an answer? Non-original research undertaken by non-specialist. So guys, pure research is original. So they have said non-original research means already the research is conducted. So they are just continued, right? So the first option, it describes the secondary research, non-original research. It means where the existing knowledge is reviewed, already is there. So the pure research is just all about gathering new knowledge, not reanalyzing or repurposing the existing knowledge. So the A is not an answer. And the B, original research work with a specific practical aim or application. So guys, I told you earlier, pure research is an original and it is often conducted by, experts people, right? So original work with a specific practical aim or application. It describes applied research. Pure research means original with a new knowledge, original to obtain a new scientific or technical knowledge. But original research work with a specific practical aim or application. Practical aim or application, it means they are talking about something called applied research, not a pure research. So applied research means they are focusing on solving some specific problems or creating some practical solutions. They often have a commercials or industrialized minds, right? But pure research, it's only for knowledge. We don't have any immediate commercial purpose like profit motive in the pure. But in applied, we have a specific practical aim or some practical applications. We don't have that in the pure research. So B, actually, they are talking about applied research, not about pure research, right? For an example, guys, applied research, I will give you some example. Some companies, they are making research in some pharmaceutical companies, right? So pharmaceutical companies, they are doing some research. So the purpose is they want to develop a new drug, right? For a particular issue. So it is an applied research because they have a clear practical goal. But in pure research, there is no clear practical goal or commercial usage, right? We want to gain some pure new knowledge. It might lead to a commercial solution or not. Okay. You get the point, right? Guys, did you get an idea about what does it mean by pure research, applied research? I have talked about pure research, applied research, right? But it is actually not in your syllabus area, but I just try to understand you. And let's move to the question number 22. In technology infrastructure, Which of the following best describes a network? Right? These are common questions. In technology infrastructure, which of the following best describes a meaning of network? Can you guys guess the answer? The first one is connecting computers and other devices to each other and also providing access to the internet. And the B one, a number of computers linked to each other so that they can communicate with each other and share the same files. And the third one, connected devices for input and output of data, such as barcode readers and plastic swipe cards, or all of the above. What could be the answer? Subhashin is saying D is the answer. Guys, what's the answer? What about other people? Dilakshan, Sajita, Ashfa, Amar, what is the answer? Sajita is saying D is the answer. And Dilakshan is D is the answer. Right. So the actual answer is actually D. Okay. So that is the answer. All of the above. Because a network mean, guys, it includes all the description A, B, C, everything we can include. Because the key feature of a network is like, connecting the computers and devices. Like the network should connect the printers or servers. And also a network, it should provide internet access. So it allows the devices to communicate with each other with an external servers, right? Like a local area network, LAN connection, wide area network, WAN connection. That is internet. For an example, home Wi-Fi networks, that is a one kind of networks. So with our home Wi-Fi networks, we are connecting our computers, smartphones, and printers to connect each other, right? And we can access the internet also. Okay. So that is the first one. So connecting computers and other devices to each other and also providing access to the internet also refers to the meaning of network. And how the B? A number of companies linked to each other so that they can communicate with each other and share the same files. So number of computers, not companies, computers. So B, so network means, guys, it should allow the devices to communicate and share the resources like files, printers, applications. So it is also describes a typical office network, where the employees' computers are connected to a central server. So all the employees in an organization can share a file in a very particular shared folder, right? For an example, in KPMG, like systems like KPMG, they have a local area network in office LAN. So the employees, they can share the files, they can collaborate on some project, and they can access some, shared applications like CRM systems through their network. So that is also a network. And C, connected devices for input and output of data, such as barcode readers and plastic swipe cards, right? For example, guys, retail point of sale systems. When you are in a food city, they have a barcode readers. So those barcode readers are connected to a network. So when you scan the items, the inventory systems are in a real-time update, right? So that is also through a network. So for this 22, the network refers to all of the above points. So the correct answer is going to be the D. And let's move to the question number 23. What does the acronym Wi-Fi stand for? It's a very common question. What does it mean by Wi-Fi? So the name, the acronym means the short form. So what is the meaning of it? Please, can you guess the answer? Subhashin is B, Sajida is B. Weak interface files interface, wireless interface from interactions, nothing it stands for a trademark, or workflow interface. What is that? Wi-Fi means. What does it, well, acronym Wi-Fi stands for? Wireless interface from interaction. So question number 23 could answer B. Correct. Okay. So remember, wireless interface from interaction. That is Wi-Fi. Okay. B. So that's a common question. Wireless interface from interaction. And let's move to the question number 24. What best describes Wi-Fi? What's the answer? What best describes Wi-Fi? Sorry guys, there is a mistake. I have done a mistake. In Wi-Fi, it is not about wireless interface from interactions. Okay. Actually, I made a mistake here. Wi-Fi, it stands for nothing actually. The actual answer is C. Okay. The actual answer is going to be C. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? It means it's just a trademark. Wi-Fi is a trademark. It's not a acronym. Actually, it's a trademark. There is nothing. So there is nothing like wireless interface from interactions. We cannot have the meaning for Wi-Fi. It is a trademark. So people are believing, Wi-Fi is just a short form, but it doesn't stand for anything like a wireless fidelity. Some people say wireless fidelity. That's a misconception. Actually, Wi-Fi is the trademark brand name, right? It's created by a company, I think, Wi-Fi Alliance, I think. So there are some group of companies. So they have developed and promoted WLAN technology, WLAN technology, like wireless local area technology. So the name was simply just for marketable. So they have kept as a Wi-Fi, right? So you have to know Wi-Fi, it's not a wireless interface from interaction. It's just a trademark actually. Please remember this one. So I forgot about these things. Right. And the 24, what best describe a Wi-Fi? What best describes Wi-Fi? What does it mean by Wi-Fi? That's the actual question. Can you guess the answer? A technology that links or facilitates the connection of laptop or computer to the internet to an intranet or type of cable or wire, a method for sending electronic communication via purchase order, or a business model for implementing a technology. So what could be your answer? What is the best description or describes about Wi-Fi? Anyone? So Sajita A, Ashfa A, Dilakshan A. Okay. Right. Means technology. It links or facilitate the connection of laptop or some computer to the internet or to an intranet. Okay. So the actual answer is A. Okay. That's the answer. Because of why? It's a simple question, right? Because Wi-Fi is a wireless technology And it allows like devices like laptops, smartphones, and some other electronic devices to connect with a network, either local intranet or sometime a very broader internet. So we don't need some physical cables in Wi-Fi connection. So the Wi-Fi, they use some radio waves to transmit the data between the device and the network. So Wi-Fi itself, actually a convenient and a very efficient way to connect to the internet, right? We don't need cables. So we can share the files in Wi-Fi direct. We can share the resources in local networks. So you know about more about Wi-Fi. So the best is technology. It facilitates the connection of laptop or computer to the internet or to an intranet. It's not a type of cable or wire, a method to sending electronic communication via purchase order. It's not an e-procurement technology or EDI. They are talking actually about EDI. So you have to know about the EDI means the electronic data interchange, where we can electronically process some purchase orders. It doesn't mean by Wi-Fi, okay? A business model for implementing technology irrelevant, right? It's not a business model. It's a tool. So let's move to the question number 25, and they're talking about what is a GUI. It is actually not in your syllabus areas. These are common questions in the revision kits to test your common general knowledge. These questions are not probably will come to your actual exams. What is a GUI? General user instruction or graphical user interface or Go anti-intuitive? What does it mean by? Most of the IT people or in your A levels or in your IT environment, you might learn about this thing. Subhashin is saying A, general user instruction. Sajita is saying B, graphical user interface. Can you guys remember GUI applications like that? It means graphical user interface. Okay. Actually, GUI stand for graphical user interface. It's a common knowledge. That is B. Okay. Graphical user interface. So these are the 25 questions actually in your business management and process and technology. But actually, some questions are not applicable to your revised study text because the entire part A is revised with a new studies. So that's why there are some questions like intronet, supranet are not applicable for you. And these GUI questions, those are not applicable for you. Anyhow, and let's move to the other part, managing technology in organizations, right? Let me drink some water and continue. Right. So let's move to the another chapter, that is managing technology in organizations. This is also a little bit related with your old study text. And let's have the question number 1. Why would an organization choose to embrace new technologies? It means embrace means why they have to adapt to a new technologies like that. So there are 4 reasons why an organization they have to choose and embrace new technologies. Can you guess the answer? Sales will always increase by 50% if we are having a new technology, or early adapters get ahead of competitors, or procurement will no longer require purchase orders, or technology development. What could be the answer? Subhashin is selecting C. What about other people? Sajita, Vidurshan, Ashfa. The best one. Sajita is C. Guys, it's a very common question. Why we have to adapt new technologies? What is the best answer for this? So the best answer is actually B. Actually B. Why? Because early adopters get ahead of competitors. It means you are far beyond your competitors. It means the competitors, they don't have that technology. So you are the early adapter. It means you are the very first persons or very first company, a few companies, you are adapting that technology means you are having some competitive advantage that other competitors doesn't have. So that's what an organization, they have to choose and embrace in new technology. That is the best answer. you know so organization that adapt new technologies in early stages, the technology is in very early, so they are adapting that technology, so they can often get a gain of competitive advantage. So they are very efficient, very innovative, and they can offer some superior products and services compared to their competitors. So the early adoption, it can lead to some cost reductions. So it can improve their processes, and it can improve the, you know, enhance customer experience, right? So that's what it's very important. And why I'm not considering as an answer of other like ACD is first, sales will always increase by 50%. Can we say that if we are adapting a new technology, it 100% we are sure our revenue will increase by 50%, our sales revenue? No, right? It's a bullshit. So there's no guarantee that sales will increase by a fixed percentage like 50%. So the technology adoption, it may improve our efficiency in our product offerings, but the outcome on sales, it depends on various factors, including our market conditions, what is our customer demand and our competition. So, we cannot say sales will always increase by 50%. It's not an answer. And early adapters get ahead of competitors. Yes, that is our answer. A procurement will no longer require purchase order, right? Here, guys, you have to focus because you choose this answer. Procurement process means purchasing process. It means it says we don't need some purchase orders to make some purchases. We have a new technology. Is it like that? Purchase processes typically require purchase orders. We need to have a control. We need to know what we have ordered and what we have received. So we must need the purchase orders. Whether new technology is coming or not, we must know, we must need a purchase order. That is the initial and essential document of purchasing and procurement. The systems like, we are having some automation, some e-procurement system. It won't eliminate the need for purchase orders entirely, because they are very essential for financial tracking and legal documentation. You might learn about in your AAT or in previous syllabus, purchase order, it is a legal document. It is an actual order you are giving to other people. Okay, we are going to purchase this much of quantity in this much of value, right? If you are refusing later, they can file a case on it. So the purchase order is very important. Even whatever the new technology is coming, it cannot eliminate the need for purchase orders entirely. It might be sometime the purchase order can be digitally. It is in soft copies, but it cannot eliminate. I hope so I'm making sense, no? Right. And technology development, no, it is not related, right? Because organizations are choosing the new technology because it is important to them, right? It is just irrelevant. So the actual answer is going to be the B. And let's move to the question number 2 in this area. Which of the following best describes big data? Okay, lot of times I have explained to you in the previous lecture classes about big data. Can you please guess the answer? Subhashin, is the answer is A. And what about other people? About big data. So Sajita, Ashwa, Subhashini are A answer. Ravichandran, Vidushan also A is the answer. Okay, so let's reveal the answer. The actual answer is also A. So big data means, guys, the exponential growth and availability of data. There are a lot of data, millions of billions of data. It can be in structured and unstructured. It might be like, column structured data, or here and there like unstructured data, both. So you know about big data. It's a very massive volume of data. It's generated from various sources. Like we can get this big data from social media, in our transactions, in our sensors, in our mobile devices, a lot of things, right? So these data, it can be structured. It means organized, very easily searchable, like data's in a database or Excel file. In every column, there's a separate and very steady, like in one column there's a date, in one column there is a text only. So that is a data in a like a database. But unstructured data means, like, we have a lot of emails, but we don't know which emails from which people, and there's no categorization. So there is an unstructured data. But that is also, there are, maybe Google, they have millions of billions of email, and there are millions of billions of social media posts, and in YouTube there are a lot of videos. So these are big data but unstructured, right? So big data means it's not highlight not just the size of the data, guys, but also the challenges involved, how we are storing, processing, and analyzing, right? So that's it. That's what we are saying, the exponential growth and availability of data, both structured and unstructured. This is, we can describe as a big data. And why the B is not the answer? Data that can be analyzed in database. You know, guys, as I told you, database data is structured data. It can be just a part of a big data, but it's just a very narrow option. Big data, it also include unstructured data, but data that can be analyzed in a database, it's only they are talking about the structured data. But big data, always it includes unstructured data, right? So unstructured data, it is not, cannot be easily stored, right? Just think about how Google is uh, storing all the people searching queries, right? Can we store in an Excel file or in a database like comments, like columns, right? We cannot store. It is a very big process because there is an unstructured data. It is cannot be effectively analyzed using like traditional database systems. So we cannot choose a big data only for database. That isn't structured data. So the B is answer, not in the answer list. And the C, business, business data that is either customer or vendor related, right? No, these options limiting big data, no, which is not accurate. Big data is much wider range of data types beyond the customers or vendor data. It might be including the weather data, scientific research data, machine logs. Big data covers all areas where the millions and billions of large amounts of data are generated. Even, NASA, they are collecting big data from its satellite systems, which is not actually directly related to customers or vendors, right? But it is still considered a big data because it involves a lot of data. So business data, like customers or vendor related, it is not a big data. Big data concept is very big, right? And online data, online only data. Guys, big data is not limited to online sources. It includes data from offline sources as well. IoT devices, right? Like sensors in the car, sensors in the factories, healthcare records that is physically available. So data, it can come from various channels, not just in the internet. And online only focus is very narrow, right? To compare to the scope of big data. So you have to understand. Right? So the actual question is the A1A, right? A is the answer. And let's move to the question number 3. As standard, big data is described as having how many V's? Okay. Can you remember when we are teaching? Can you remember that? Attributes of big data. How many V's we learned? What is the answer, guys? 8 or 4 or 2 or 3? Can you remember what is actually V's means? Attributes of the characteristics of big data. Right? Can't you remember? Veracity, velocity, right? Can't you remember these type of words I have used? 4 V's: volume, volume, velocity. Then I talked about variety, and I think and another one is veracity. So these are the attributes, 4 V's. So please read the notes again. So these are the attributes or characteristics. So that is actually B is the answer. Okay, as Subhashini said, Sajita said. So 4 V's are there. Okay. So volume, velocity, variety, veracity. So there are something. So I have explained simply about those things. And the next question is, which of the following is a V of big data? So there are vastness, vortex, weaknessity or something, and velocity. Which one is related to a V for big data attributes or big data? Just now we have discussed, right? Actually, the A. Actually, A. So you must know what are the 4 V's in the big data attributes. It's actually in our notes. So it is going to be the A is the answer, no? A is the answer. So I already discussed about you these things, right? So simply, guys, velocity means what? Velocity, it actually refers to, speed, right? Velocity means speed, how the data is generated and processed. Sometime in big data, the data needs to be processed in a real time, or otherwise very near to the real time to be useful, right? So that is one of the attributes. And let's move to the other question. The fifth one. Louise Miles, head of analytics for big data specialist, SAS, notes that, I think one of the person name, head of analytics in a company, in a big data, notes that data is only as good as the intelligence we can glean from it, right? So what does this mean? Can you guess the answer? It means she's a head of analytics and he's noting a one point statement. Data is only as good as the intelligence we can glean from it. What can be the answer? Subhashini is saying C is the answer. What about other people? Can you guess your answer, please? Subhashini is C. What about other people? Sajita is A. Okay. The election is B. So guys, for the fifth one, the actual answer we are going to have is B. Okay. The underlying data must be converted to information in order to gain knowledge and insight. Okay. So it means, guys, the statement they're saying, like, you know, they say, like, the data is only as good. So the data is only useful as the intelligence we can glean from it. If we are having some informations or some, analytical reports, the information, intelligence, the reports, then only we can get most out of it. So that's why I'm choosing the answer as a B. So the statement, it reflects the idea that, the data alone is not valuable. So we are not have a value if we have only data until it is processed and it is analyzed. That is business intelligence, no? Power BI, business intelligence software. What it is doing? It is analyzing the data and it is giving as information, as an analyzed, processed information as a dashboard. So we can get some meaningful insights. So the raw data is just a collection of numbers, text, or facts. But when you apply analytics, it becomes information. So it can guide your decision making. So the data analysis, it transforms the raw data into very actionable knowledge. And also, it is allowing the businesses to make some informed decisions based on the trends and patterns or predictions in the insights, in the reports, right? So that's what I'm saying. This is the exact meaning of that. Did you get the point? And why A is not the answer? Analytics are more important than the source data. Guys, if we have a good input, only we can get an output. So both the data and analytics are very crucial. Without a quality data, how we can analytics, how we can get an analytics with a quality output? We cannot produce a valuable insights, right? So if we are having a not quality data, actually it remains unused and unorganized. So the value, it comes from both the combination of both the good data and also the proper analytics. So we cannot say, analytics are more important than the source data. We cannot say both are very important, right? And the C is not the answer. Intelligence is data. No. Intelligence, guys, it is derived from the actual data, but it is not the same as the data. Intelligence is not a data. But if we have the data only, we can get some intelligence about our data, right? So intelligence means insights or some sort of conclusions we had by analyzing our data. So raw data, it is something called unprocessed form. It doesn't equal to intelligence. So intelligence means what businesses and organizations seeks to gain from that data, right? That is intelligence. So intelligence is not a data. It is a processed information, right? And analytics do not have the capacity to manage big data. So this statement is false. So analytics, guys, especially with the modern tools and technologies, they do have the capacity to manage and process the big data. There are tools like Hadoop, Spark. I will show some images to you. There are some tools, Hadoop, Apache Hadoop. This is the tool you can handle the big data, even if you have millions and billions of things. So I think this is an open source software. I think so. Okay. Right. It is an open source. You can download as well. Okay. So is there download options? There are, yes, it is, I think it is an open source. Anyone can download. So this can handle the big data. It's a modern tool. Then there is a tool called Spark. Okay. Spark. This is also Apache Spark. This is also same with the same company, I think, maybe. So you can download. I think this may be an open source, maybe. I don't know much about it. Right? You can do machine learning, data science, SQL analytics. Okay. So you can run Python, SQL, Scala, Java. Okay. I don't know more about these tools, but there are some tools. It has the capacity to manage and process the big data, right? So these are specifically designed to analyze very large data sets. So the issue is not the capacity of analytics, right? But we have to ensure the data is properly analyzed and produce some insights. Okay. So we cannot say analytics do not have the capacity to manage the big data. We have, but like softwares like Excel, database like office automation systems, they don't have the capacity to manage the big data. But there are a lot of softwares, like as I told, Apache, Hadoop, Spark, they have the capacity, right? So we cannot choose D as an answer also. So B is the correct answer. And let's move to the question number 6. Why is data considered a legal minefield? Minefield means, like a place where We are mining, right? A legal minefield. What is the answer, guys? Can you guess why we are considering the data as a legal minefield, not illegal? It is a legal place where you can go and get some insights and get some mining, like gold. So why we are considering like this? The ownership and usage is not fully understood, or data can be anything, or procurement data is sensitive, customer data is too difficult to maintain. So why we are considering as a legal minefield? So Ravichandra Vidushan, B is the answer. And what about other people? Guys, the correct exact answer why we are considering as a legal minefield, because the ownership and usage is not fully understood. Right, guys? So because, data has some significant issue, significant legal issue. Because the questions like, who owns the data? Who is the owner of the data? How it can be used? And who is responsible for protecting it? It's often unclear, right? Because Google has all of the people data. It owns the data. So how it can be used? Who is the person giving rules and regulation? Who is responsible for protecting our data? It often unclear. So who is the ownership of that big data? So the data ownership is very complex. And particularly, when data involves like multiple parties, like, in cloud computing, customers provide their personal data to some companies. So it might create some issues like privacy rights, data usage concern, and regulatory compliance like GDPR. In Europe, did you heard about GDPR? GDPR. So let me give something like that. GDPR. Okay, here. General Data Protection Regulation, right? So I'll ask, what is GDPR, right? So General Data Protection Regulations, it means in Europe, if you want to have your systems here, see, an essay on GDPR principles and requirement by privacy concern and data protection are still suffering in the Europe. So in Europe, if you want to collect some data or informations through online, so forms, you have to have compliance with GDPR. This is the European Union's new data protection law, right? So what is GDPR? The EU's new data protection law. Toughest privacy and security law in the world. So it was drafted and passed by the European Union. It imposes obligations onto organizations anywhere. Effect from May 25, 2018. So in European countries, if you are going to collect some data for your customers or some leads, some marketing purpose, you have to compliance with this GDPR. So it is very difficult. So the problem is, regulatory compliance like GDPR in Europe, in other countries, they don't have. So it creates a legal minefield because the rules are often unclear. So you can do that one. So no people are going to come and because there's no specific legal things also, right? For an example, guys, there is a real life. I can give you example. There is something called Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. There is a case. I think it is a scandal. Like data from some millions of Facebook users, it was used without their consent for political profiling, right? It means they have used millions of people data to check whether they like which party. It means like in US, if there is an election campaign is going on, So, people are posting about that candidates in Facebook, no? So from the data, so they have, made some analytics. But this raises the question about ownership. How to use who is giving the rights, and how the data can be legally shared and used by third parties. So the leadership is, like, often it is not fully understood. That's what we are considering is a legal minefield, right? Ownership and usage is not fully understood. Am I clear? Did I make it clear? Right? So as we considered the other option, data can be anything, guys. While data can be take many forms, it can be text, video, translation, but this is not the primary reason it is considered as a legal minefield. The legal complexities arise not because of the form of the data, but because of how it is handled, how it is shared and protected, and who has the rights to. So the variety of data types doesn't inherently make it as a legal issue. Okay. So that what it is kind of a legal problems. It means legal minefield means, it will create some legal problems. And also, procurement data is sensitive. We are not considering as a legal minefield because yes, procurement data may be sensitive, but this statement is very too narrow to make answer for legal problems, right? And customer data is too difficult to maintain. Yeah, maintaining customer data can be challenging, but legal minefield is not about the difficulty of maintenance. It's all about ownership, and usage is not fully understood. So I hope so I made sense with you about the sixth question. And let's move to the question of seventh. What is cloud computing? It's a common question. So can you answer this question, guys? A lot of times I have explained about you cloud computing in our previous lectures. So hosted systems that is on premise, or systems and data stored on a service provider server, data that cannot be served, or systems that are free to use. What does it mean by cloud computing? What is the answer? Subhashin is saying C. Mhm. What about other people? Cloud computing. So the actual answer for this question is, guys, B. Can't you remember? Why B is the answer? Because cloud computing means, guys, no, it's like a delivery of computing services. It includes, like, we are delivering servers, like servers in another country, but we are using in here. So that is cloud servers like Google Drive, Apple iCloud. And we are giving some storage services, databases, networking, softwares, analytics, all the things are over the internet. That is cloud, the meaning of cloud. So in cloud means instead of hosting the systems, it means the physical servers or something, and storing the data on local server or personal computers. Cloud computing, it allows these organizations and individuals to store the data and run some applications on a remote provider server. Because so now we are running on Zoom, but actually we are connecting in a cloud-based systems, right? So these services are managed and maintained by some cloud providers. Some the very famous is AWS. AWS is a very big service company. Let me share with you. Amazon Web Services. This is a one big cloud computing company. It is run by Amazon. Okay, AWS. Most of the IT people might be, right. So they are doing cloud computing actually. Okay, there are a lot of cloud computing here. What is cloud computing? So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, you can access technology services such as computing, power, storage, databases on as needed basis from cloud provider like Amazon Web Services. There are a lot of cloud services things you can take it. So there are a lot of options are here. So this is all about cloud computing, guys. And also not only Amazon, this is AWS. This is AWS is one of the cloud computing provider, and there is another one is Microsoft Azure. Okay, so Microsoft Azure. This is also they are also providing cloud computing solutions, right? Right. So they are also giving cloud computing solutions. So these are the actual things, and also Google Cloud. This is all, they are also providing cloud computing solutions. So Google Cloud, yeah. The new ways to cloud starts here. Build with generative AI, deploy apps fast, and analyze the data in seconds, right? So this is all about it. So guys, so systems. So we are considering systems and data stored on a service provider's server. Service providers means, for example, AWS server, Microsoft Azure company servers, not in our premises or in our laptops or in our systems. Did you get my point? So guys, you have to understand everything in service providers, right? Systems, our storage, database, networking, everything. So cloud computing, it allows organizations and individual, we can store the data, run some softwares and systems only with our Chrome browser, right? I hope so. I made sense. So for example, Google Drive, when you use Google Drive, your documents and files are stored in the Google servers, not in your servers, not on your local computers. For example, if you serve some files on Google Drive, even you can go to any, you can buy a new iPhone and you can log into your email and password. And if you go to the Google Drive, your files will be there. How? It is a new phone, right? Because the files are stored in Google company's server, right? So your documents, files are on Google servers, not on your local computer or on your, mobile phones. So it is allowing for easy sharing and collaboration, right? So that's what I'm saying. So hosted systems, that is on-premise. On-premise means what? On-premise means in our own locations. On-premises are hosted locally within a company's own physical data center or servers. So this is opposite of cloud computing. Okay, on-premise, we are not serving anything in cloud computing. So this is the opposite of cloud computing, where the systems and data are hosted off-site or by a third-party service provider. But cloud computing, it enables companies to, do something advanced things, right? I hope so I'm making sense. And C is not the answer. Data that cannot be served in cloud computing. Is it? You have chosen the answer. Guy, you are serving the data in Google Chrome, right? You are Google Drive, right? And also when you are working with Google Documents, Google Sheet, actually the data is saving, right? It can serve. It is in data storage from anywhere. One of the major benefits of cloud computing is that it provides a scalable storage option, right? We can serve TBs, GBs in Google Drive, right? And systems that are free to use. Not all systems are free to use, right? So while there are some cloud services that offer free tiers, like Google Drive, they offer a very limited amount of free storage. For example, here see in Google Drive storage pricing, you can see here, we can update our pricing actually here. For example, here see plans and pricing. All Google accounts include 15 GB of storage. Okay. Normally, if you are opening an email, Gmail actually, Google Mail, you will allocate it only for 15 GB of storage, right? But after that, you have to pay if you want more. So for an example, if you want 2 dB, you have to pay 1525 in Sri Lankan rupees, a very small amount, no, 2 terabytes, you know. And if you want 2 dB, you have to pay 6425 per month, right? And 5 TB, 3810 per month, and 10 TB, 7625 per month. And there are some or for an example, if you are paying for 2 GB, you can have a Gemini in Gmail docs and more. It means Gemini is their more advanced what do you call AI model of Google, so you can use it. But in free version you cannot use it. Even if you are in a 2 TB version, you cannot use it. So the functions, it will be more in your premium tiers, so you can pay annually also. Yeah. So we cannot say everything as a free of charge in cloud. So somewhat we have some free tier, but we have to pay if we want to use more. Okay. So we cannot say systems that are free to use all the Google cloud systems. Okay. I hope so I made sense with you. So the answer we have chosen is B. And so, okay, let's go with question number 8. Predictive analysis looks at which of the following? Okay. So most of the time in the lectures, I have briefly explained about predictive analytics, descriptive analytics. What does it mean by, guys? Predictive analysis looks at which of the following? Question number 8. Please let me know the answer. What's the answer? Subhashini, C answer. What about other people? Sajita, Vidushan, Ashfa. What about your answer? What does it mean by predictive analytics? So C is Subhashini answer. It means observing issues with the data quality. Are you sure? Ravichandran, Vidushan, B. Assessing probable future trends. Sajita, B. So the correct answer, my dears, for question number 8 is most probably is going to be B. Assessing probable future trends. Can't you remember in our lectures, I just told you descriptive analytics is all about past data. We are getting to know what happened in the past. But predictive analytics is we are using the past data and also current data to assess the future. We are predicting the future. That is actually in the word, right? Predicting means we are predicting the future, how the future will be. So that's what assessing probable future trends, So predictive analytics, guys, it involves, using the historical data and the current data, and we are using some statistical algorithm, machine learning, and data mining to predict the future outcomes. So the goal of the predictive analysis is forecast the trends. Forecast means future. So how the trends and how will be the behavior and events. So it can guide in decision making. So we are analyzing the past patterns, right? So businesses can make very informed decisions, right? So that is predictive data. So that's why I'm choosing the answer as assessing probable future events. So past information for grouping and calculation, that is not an answer. Why? Because past information for just grouping and calculation is all about descriptive analytics, not predictive analysis. So descriptive analysis, it focuses on just summarizing the historical data, and it is trying to understand what happened in the past only, right? So they are using the methods like grouping, sorting, and calculation. So that is about descriptive analytics, not about predictive analytics, right? So we are trying to understand what happened in the past. That is descriptive. Okay, but in other hand, predictive analytics, it uses past information to make forecast about the future. That's what the B is the answer. And C is not the answer. That means observing issues with data quality, right? So observing issues with data quality means, guys, data cleansing, like, data quality management, which is all about, identifying and fixing what are the errors and what are the inconsistencies in the data, right? So that is all about data quality. It is also important because if we want an accurate predictive analytics, this activity, have to be done, but it is not actually a predictive analytics itself. So observing issues with the data quality, it doesn't mean by predictive analytics, but we need this to have a clean predictive analytics. And managing data through life cycle means data life cycle management, DLM, data life cycle management. It means how we are handling the data from creation through storage, and how we are disposing the data. It means deleting the data. So this is a process of managing the flow of the data, but it doesn't involve predicting the future trends, right? So the actual answer is going to be the B1, assessing probable future trends. And let's move to the question number 9 then. What is a business partner? What is the answer for this question? What is the answer for this question? Business partner. So this is actually, I think, removed area from your syllabus. So finance or other support professional being fully embedded in the business process, we are calling as a business partner. It is actually a term question. So the answer is going to be A. Okay. Right. So finance or other support professionals, right, being fully embedded in the business process. Fully they have embedded. So that's what we are calling as a business partner, not a joint ownership or group of individuals who share a functions or an organization who undertakes a business. Okay. This is out of your syllabus currently now. And let's move forward and focus on other questions. Johnson et al. 2017 highlight that for many organizations, product innovation being the first mover may be a major source of which of the following? It's a common question. You can guess the answer actually, right? Some person, they highlight that for many organizations, product innovation and being the first mover may be a major source of which of the following? Strong leadership or government funding or due diligence or competitive advantage? Subhashin is choosing D. What about other people? As I told you earlier, guys, choosing early adoption of technology will give you competitive advantage because your competitors, they don't adapt the technology, right? So actually, what is the answer? It is going to give you competitive advantage. So I'm choosing the answer, the D. Competitive advantage means you have the resources, you have the capabilities that your competitors, they don't have. Okay. So you are ahead of competitors. So that is competitive advantage. Am I make sense to you guys? Do you understand what does it mean by competitive advantage? So competitive advantage means it refers to some factors that allows a company to produce some goods or services better and with a more good price, a cheaper price than its competitors. That is competitive advantage. We can say that one. So these competitive advantage is allowing the companies to generate more sales, achieve better margins, right? So if we are having a product innovation and being the very first mover, those are very classic sources of competitive advantage. So by innovating, companies, they can offer unique products and they can attract customers. So they can differentiate themselves from the competitors. And also they can come up with a very command premium pricing because they are the only person having that product or service. So they can come up with a very big premium pricing. So being the very first mover, it means you are entering a market and introducing a product before your competitors. So it allows you to capture the entire market share because that's a monopoly. You are building a brand and also recognition in very early stage, right? So that is all about this. So it is all about competitive advantage. So why others are not the answer? Strong leadership. No, while strong leadership is very important, guys. If you want to drive some innovation to your company, so this leadership is very important. But the question we are asking about, innovation. and first mover. So we cannot choose a strong leadership. And government funding, no, government funding may support innovation. For an example, especially like sectors like healthcare, technology, but it is not the direct source of competitive advantage. Other companies also gain competitive advantage through apply to the government funding, right? And the due diligence. Due diligence means a careful assessment. So we are going to assess our risk and our opportunities, and are we compliance with the laws and regulations when we are making some decisions, like, we are going to merge with other companies, or we are going to acquire, we are going to do some acquisition with other companies. We need to do due diligence. There is a separate section in KPMG's due diligence services. So we will assess the value of the company, but it is not a direct source of competitive advantage. So the product innovation and being a first mover, it is giving you the competitive advantage. So the actual answer is going to be the D. And let's move to the question number 11. Which of the following best describe disruptive innovation? Can you guess the answer? Disruptive innovation. So as I told you earlier, there are some technologies, those are disruptive. It means it will disrupt the entire market. That technology will come as a new, but it will disrupt the entire market, and it will acquire the market by removing the competitors, the existing people. What can be the answer? A product or service moves from the bottom to the top, displacing established competitors. Is it? Subhashin is choosing A. What about other people? So the correct answers to this 11th is, guys, A. Actually, A product or service, it moves from the bottom to the top, and it is displacing established competitors. Already there are established companies, but it displacing the established competitors. Why this is the answer? Because, guys, how a new product or service enter the market. It is all about disruptive innovation. How a new product or service enter into the market. They will come with, at the low end, often at the low end. They are offering very simpler product, more affordable options, and over the time, these innovations, they improve, and move to upmarket, right? And eventually, they will displacing the established competitors. For example, mark my words, guys, digital accounting is a disruptor, right? Our company, the way I have designed, the way I am taking this institute, it is a disruptive. Like, for the moment, we just started before, I think, 4 years, 5 years. We are good at what we are doing. We moved to so much of technologies. I have adapted so much of innovations. And simply we are replacing a lot of AIT institutes. We are disrupted. We are displacing with established competitors. Eventually, I will introduce ACC, I will introduce CMA, I will introduce CIMA, and I will acquire the market. Okay, mark my words, it will happen in the next 5 or 10 years. So that is a new technology. It will come very simply with a low end. We will offer very simpler products or very affordable options. We will, we will take care of our customers over the time. We will improve innovations, improve our product. And eventually we will displace established competitors, established institutes, right? It's going to happen. So that is something all about disruptive technologies and disruptive innovation. So that's what I'm choosing the answer A. So why the answer B or C or D is not there? The B, an idea that is disruptive to the organization and if acted upon causes failure. So it is an idea that is a disruptive to the organization. If acted upon, it causes a failure. It means, so it describes internal disruption or very poor decision making within an organization, but it doesn't describe disruptive innovation. So disruptive innovation means, guys, it refers to an external market force where, new players displaces, by offering a more accessible or low cost alternative. So disruptive innovation, it always lead to success for the disruptor, not a failure, right? So we cannot say disruptive to the organization in affected upon cause failure. No, disruptive innovation, it always go for a success, right? A way of innovating via disruptive behavior. This is an incorrect option because disruptive innovation with a disruptive behavior, which is not the correct context. So disruptive innovation, it always refers to a market or industry disruption, not an individual behavior within an organization. Okay. It is not about individual behavior within an organization. It is about creating product or services that is disrupt entire market, entire industry, not about acting disruptively, right? And D also is not the answer. A product that has been changed to align to a particular market. No, though this option is too narrow, right? It is, we can say, incremental innovation. So disruptive innovation, it is, more radical shift where a new product, it is not about old product. So new product or service, it is enter the market and fundamentally changes the competitive landscape, everything. It displacing everyone, right? So that is all about disruptive innovation. So that's what I'm choosing the answer A. And let's move to select the question number 12. Which of the following is an example of disruptive technology? Right. So we have learned about a lot about disruptive technology. So can you choose the answer? What are the technologies disrupting the innovation or technology or the industry? Blockchain, call logging, database files, back office systems. So blockchain is a disruptive technology. We discussed a lot of times. Correct answer. Okay. So B is the correct answer. Blockchain is one of the disruptive technology. It's a prime example of disruptive technology, actually, guys. So what does it mean by blockchain? It is a very decentralized digital ledger technology. It is not a centralized system. It is a very decentralized digital system, right? This system, it means the technology, it enables a very secure, transparent, very proof transactions. There is no need of intermediaries like banks. So blockchain, it disrupted the industries like, finance, supply chain, healthcare, because they are offering more secure and also more efficient way to manage the transaction and also data, right? So these kind of a very decentralized nature of blockchain, it challenges the traditional systems. It making it a disruptive force in various sectors. Like one of the example of blockchain technology is Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is introduced with a backbone of technology called blockchain technology. So the introduction of Bitcoin and also other cryptocurrencies, those are based on the blockchain technology. And it has disrupted the traditional financial institutions, guys, because they are providing an alternative to traditional banking and payment systems, right? So that is called disruptive technology. And other systems, something called call logging. Guys, call logging means it is a standard features in telecommunication because they want to track and recording the phone calls, typically for monitoring purpose. While it is useful, it doesn't fundamentally disrupt any industry or displace existing process. It is just an incremental improvement in the telecommunication system. It is not a disruptive technology. For example, call center software, it may have a log calls, but it doesn't disrupt the way communication is conducted, So we cannot say. And database files are very essential for the data storage and the retrieval of the data. But they represent the core component of a very traditional IT system. It is not a disruptive technology. Okay. And back office systems are, such as, payroll, HR management tools. These are very important for managing the internal operation, but it is do not qualify as a disruptive technologies. It is improve the efficiency, but just a part of existing frameworks, right? They are not doing any groundbreaking change to industries, right? For an example, ERP systems, it's just a back office systems, right? It is integrating all parts of the organization, just streamlining the task, but they don't disrupt the broader industry like blockchain technology does. ERP systems are not a disruptive things, disruptive innovation or disruptive technology. I hope so you understood the things. And let's move to the question number 13. For an organization's IT assets and systems to operate effectively, it is critical that adequate control measures are in place to help prevent which of the following, right? The question is asking, for an organization, IT assets and systems to operate effectively, it is critical mean important, that adequate control, it means enough control measures are in place to help prevent which of the following. Prevent means stop. Which of the following? What is your answer for 13? Guess the answer, guys. Can you guess the answer for question number 13? What's your answer? Subhashini C. Sajita B. Guys, if you want to protect your IT assets and systems, which control you have to do? Theft, fraud, and human error. A is the answer. Theft mean, what do you call? We are taking other people assets without knowing them. It's an unethical thing. Fraud, human error. So the answer is theft, fraud, and human error. For organizations, IT assets and systems, if they want to have an operations effectively, they have to implement a control systems, control measures. So it should against a risk like theft, fraud, and human error. Theft means unauthorized individuals, people, they can access of sensitive data or physical IT assets. That is theft. Fraud means it can arise from internal or external manipulation of systems for some financial gains for money. And human errors, sometimes we will accidentally delete some files or important data, or we will give some misconfiguration of systems. It can lead to costly disruptions or breaches, So we have to have a theft, fraud, and human error. That is a very important. We have to stop theft, fraud, and human error. Then only our IT assets and systems operate effectively. And why the B is not the answer? Marketing and sales reporting. No, marketing and sales reporting is a business function. So we are involving in that with the tracking and analyzing the sales data and marketing performance. While it is important for a business strategy, but it is unrelated to the IT control measures, right? And other one is procurement charges. Procurement charges also related to the cost of acquiring the goods and services. It means purchasing the goods and services. It is typically through our e-procurement systems and financial system, right? IT systems, it help track these charges, but the primary focus of IT control measure is we have to prevent the risk from, the integrity like theft, fraud, and human error. That is the primary focus. And the maintenance, while maintenance of IT systems also very important, because if we want to keeping run our systems efficiently, this is important, but it is not the primary focus of IT control measures. So you have to understand IT control measures. We have to, control the measure theft, fraud, and human error. And also this is your previous syllabus areas, not in your current syllabus area. And let's move to the question number 14. Cybersecurity is concerned with which of the following? Can you guess the answer, guys? 14, common question. In cybersecurity, are we focusing on applied research or development or the production of network systems or data analytics? What is that? What can be the answer? So Vidushan, C is the answer. Sajita, C is the answer. Subhashini, C. The protection of network systems and data in a cyberspace, right? So that is the actual answer for 14. So the C is the answer. Why C is the answer? Because guys, the production of network systems and data in a cyberspace. So cybersecurity means it is a practice where the protecting computer systems and networks and data from the cyber attacks. Cyber attacks means unauthorized access and other forms of some digital threats. For example, it involves cybersecurity involves safeguarding information from theft, right? We are safeguarding the information or data in the systems and safeguarding information from damage or disruption caused by some malicious, entities like hackers, malware, or phishing attacks. We have to safeguard our information. So the goal of the security, cybersecurity, is to ensure the confidentiality of the data, integrity and availability of the data in a cyberspace. Cyberspace means online world. So ensuring that system function as intended without being compromised, right? So that is all about. So it is not about applied research. Okay, applied research means, as I told you earlier, it is a scientific or technical investigation. Because of we are doing applied research because we are having in the mind to solve some specific or practical problem. We have a commercial intention. We have to solve a problem and we want to make some profits. That is applied research. While the research into cybersecurity techniques and tools can be very important, but cybersecurity itself is not focused on, you know, uh, just conducting a research. It is not that one. And development, it is just to refer to software or systems development for new technological applications or platforms. But cybersecurity, it's concerned, during development. It's a broader and focus on the production of systems and data. And management of data analytics, that is, involves of collection and processing of data and interpretations. That is something different. It is not related to cybersecurity. So the correct answer is going to be the C. And let's move to the question number 15. Cyberspace is best described as which of the following? So in the 14 questions, we discussed about cyber security in a cyberspace. So now, what does it mean by cyberspace? Can you guess the answer for question number 15? What could be the answer? What does it mean by cyberspace? Subhashini, Sajita, Vidurshan, Ashpa. Cyberspace. Is it an intranet, extranet, or e-procurement website, or an environment in which communication over IT networks takes place? Subhashini, are you sure it is a e-procurement website, cyberspace mean? Guys, the actual answer, the first one, it's a very simple question. I don't know why you are making mistakes. Right? Cyberspace means the virtual environment. It is not a physical environment. It is a virtual online environment where the communication, the interaction, the activities, right? Everything it happening in digital and IT networks. It include the internet. It include internet. It include intranet, and it include extranet also. It includes the global network of interconnected computers, servers, and infrastructure that enable digital communication. It is not just limited to a very specific network, but it rather describes the entire ecosystems of digital interactions. Right? For example, guys, social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter, they are part of a cyberspace where the users interact and communicate through IT networks. And e-commerce platforms, like Amazon, it allows businesses and consumers to, engage in a transaction with the cyberspace. So leveraging the IT networks for communication, transactions, service delivery. So the thing is, cyberspace means entire virtual environment We are using internet, intranet, digital, IT network, everything, computer, service, global in the world. The global network, interconnected computers, servers, everything. It is a cyberspace. So intranet is there, extranet is there, e-procurement website, everything within the cyberspace. So the best answer is A. Okay. You got the point, right? Subhashini, Sajita? Cyberspace means the entire business in digital. It is not limited to intranet or extranet or e-procurement website. Everything within the cyberspace. Right? And let's move to the question number 16 then. Which of the following practical measures can be implemented in the area of IT or IS security control? It means information technology or information system security controls. A practical measures. Sending customers business documents, implementing a marketing strategy, or regularly updating software and hardware to ensure the controls remain fit for the purpose, providing employees with laptops. So which is the area we can implement some IT and IS security controls? What is the answer? It's all about very common questions, guys. They're not very deeply dig into the, actual syllabus. Very commonly, they are taking questions. You can actually make guesses. What's the answer? Please guess the answer. So Sajita C, Vidushan C, Subhashini C. Okay, let's see the actual answer. 16. The answer is C. Okay. So when we are regularly updating our software and hardware to ensure the controls remain fit for the purpose, that is the area we can implement IT and information system security control. Right? So this is the C is the answer. Because of why? Guys, regular updates of softwares and hardwares are very essential for maintaining the security and also the effectiveness of our IT and IS security control. For an example, a new threats, it can make our systems as vulnerable, right? So when we are updating our systems, so the security patches and improvements are applied. For an example, when you are updating your Windows computers, when the Windows update is coming, so you are updating entire systems, right? So your security patches, some sort of bugs, so it is improved. So it helps protect the organization from some cyber security risks, some malware or unauthorized resources, some system failures. So we can maintain some up-to-date security measures, right? So it's a best practice in IT security management. So that is a place we can implement. But here, sending customers business documents, while sending business documents is a part of everyday business operation. It doesn't relate to information system security control or IT control, no. So security controls are, guys, it's more focused on protecting the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of information systems and data, not in the routine document exchange. Right? So sending an invoice or contract to a customer doesn't directly contribute to cybersecurity or system integrity. So we cannot go there. And implementing a marketing strategy also same. It is also focused on promoting a product or service to customers. And we need to grow our sales growth, right? Business growth. It is also very important for our success, but marketing strategies are unrelated to IT and IS security controls. So the security controls, it aims to protect, digital assets from threats. While marketing strategies, it focus more on the customer outreach and brand positioning. For an example, guys, companies, they can create an online campaign to attract the new customer. But this is unrelated with securing the IT infrastructure with our softwares or hardwares, updating our security system. No, it is unrelated, right? And the D, providing employees with the laptops, providing employees with the laptop is a part of IT provisioning. It doesn't constitute a security control, right? So the exact correct answer is the C. And let's move to the question number 17. Give me a second. Right. I hope so. You got the point. So let's see the question number 17. In terms of compliance, organizations need to ensure that organizational policies relating to the IT or IS infrastructures and data exist are aligned to which of the following, right? So simply the question is asking in terms of compliance. Organizations need to ensure that organizational policies relating to the IT or IS infrastructures and data exist and are aligned to which of the following? What is the answer? Can you guess the answer? I have discussed earlier also. What's the answer? For question number 17. Can you guess the answer and let me know? So Ashfa answer is A, Vidurshan A, Subhashini also A. Okay. So data protection and GDPR. Okay. So that is the answer actually. So the actual answer is A. Let's choose the answer as A. Right? Is an answer. So GDPR means, guys, GDPR means General Data Protection Regulation. GDPR rules, General Data Protection Regulation. As I told you earlier, is a legal framework established by European Union. So they set some guidelines for how a company or person should collect and process some personal information. So these GDPR, it means General Data Protection Regulation, it designed to protect the privacy and data of individuals. So organization, they must ensure that they are having a good IT and IS policies, information technology and information system policies, and it should align with the data protection laws like GDPR. So then they can have a compliance if they are doing business in European countries. So it includes securing personal data, providing transparency on the data collection, and they have to ensure proper consent from individuals before they're processing their data. For an example, in iPhone, before it collects your data and track your application behavior, they will ask, so this app is tracking your data, are you allowing or not? So it is because of GDPR rules. Otherwise, Apple is not going to ask to you, right? So it is ensuring a proper consent from the individual before they're processing their data. But if they fail to comply with GDPR rules, it will lead to a very significant fines and also legal consequences. For an example, Google in 2019, guys, they have fined for $50 million, 50 million euros. Okay. For 50 million euros, Google was fined for failing to comply with the GDPR's data transparency requirements. So Google policies didn't sufficiently inform users how their data was being collected and used. In 2019, Google paid 50 million euro because they didn't comply with the GDPR. So that is very important, right? And we are not considering computer legislation because there are various computer related legislation. For an example, Computer Fraud Act. So there are a lot of act in our Sri Lanka also. They are very much focused on cybercrime and also computer misuse. So these laws do not specifically address the very broader compliance requirements related to personal data protection. They are focused on cybercrime activities. Okay. Right. And procurement deliverables means, procurements mean purchasing. So procurement deliverables, it also relate to the goods and services and organization purchasing. Right. This has very little to do with IT or IS. So we cannot choose. And sales policies, sales policies, they focus on how products and services are marketed and priced and sold to customers. Right. So the sales department, they might handle the customer data. So their policies are separate from the ITO IS division, IS policies, right? So the actual answer is going to be A, data production and GDPR. And let's move to the question number 18. What does the acronym MOT stand for? Can you guess MOT? Is it for master of technology or management of technology or maintenance of technology or management of trainers? We have a separate topic on this. What does it mean for MOT? I told you in the previous classes also. Can you remember? MOT for management of technology, right? MOT B. And let's move to the question number 19. Which of the following best describes a software development lifecycle? SDLC. Software development lifecycle means the stages of software development. Can you guess the answer? What can be the answer? Subhashin is saying a structured approach and technology used to implement a technology project. Development of key technology, the time it takes to build a product, a resource planning technique. So the actual answer is, guys, as you guessed, the answer is going to be the A. It is a very structured approach and methodology used to implement a technology in a particular project. So that is software development life cycle. So it is a kind of, systematic process. It is for, planning, developing softwares and testing the softwares and deploying the software as an actual application. So it is a kind of framework, guys. It is, defines each phase of a software creation. So how we are gathering the requirements to system maintenance. That is software development lifecycle. It is in school a very structured and methodical approach to software development. So that is a software developer. For example, a software company, they are creating a mobile application, and so they could follow that SDLC, right, process. So they begin by gathering the requirements, what the app should do, right? That is a requirement, and move to design and development. The next phase, building the application, and the third one, test it for bugs and issues, and the fourth stage, finally, they have to deploy it to the Google Store or App Store. So they have to follow the SDLC, that software lifecycle, development lifecycle, and they are ensuring the project is well organized and it meets the intended goals, right? That is the 19th one. So the answer is going to be A, right? So B is not the answer. Why? Development of key technology. So development, guys, key technology development is a part of a software creation. But SDLC means it's entire life cycle of software development, not just the development of specific technology, right? And the time it takes to build a product is not a measure of time. No, SDLC means it's not a measure of time. It's a framework. We are not measuring the time in SDLC. It's a framework that guides the entire process of software development. Okay. And resource planning technique is about managing a personal equipment and materials for a project. It is not about SDLC itself. We resource resource planning means it's a resource allocation, but it is important for software development. But SDLC means it's not a primarily a resource planning method. It is a very broader methodology that focuses on each and every steps required to build, test, and deploy a software component. Right? So that's what I choose the answer A. Then let's move to the question number 20. Which of the following models is not a valid way for an organization to manage acquisition? Right? So these are the things, guys. A lot of the things we have discussed here, it is replaced with your new questions, right? You won't meet so much of questions here because a new study text is there. So you can guess the answer. Which of the following models is not a valid way for an organization to manage an acquisition? Acquisition means like, we are acquiring another company. We are buying another company like that. So what can be the option? We can guess the question even if we don't have an proper knowledge, we can guess the answer anyhow. So Sajida is saying C. Yes, Subhashin is saying C. So you have guessed the correct answer actually. So actual answer is going to be for the 20 is C. Why we are choosing C? Because guys, internal restructuring program. It is not an acquisition actually. Internally restructuring programs means the changes within the organization. We are aimed to optimize our process, improving our efficiencies, and dealing with financial operational challenges. That is an internal process. It is not directly related to managing an acquisition. Acquisition means we are acquiring another company or acquiring another company's assets. Restructuring is very typically done to improve the internal workings of a company, not to manage acquisition. Acquisition involves external parties. So that's what it is not a valid way for an organization to manage an acquisition. But they can, for an example, these are the valid ways. So external partnering is a way to, manage an acquisition. For an example, we are collaborating with another organization to share our resources or capabilities, right? So external partnership also can provide necessary expertise, technology, or some market expert access support to make that acquisition process. So we can have a help from external partnering to have some acquisition, manage the acquisition. And strategic alliance, it means guys, strategic alliance is an kind of is an arrangement between two companies. So they have mutual objectives, right? But they are very independent companies, but they have a mutual objective or same goal, right? So in context of some acquisition, so these strategic alliances can serve a kind of precursor to a full acquisition. It allows companies to test the collaboration before they decide to fully acquire a partner, right? For an example, Starbucks, US company's coffee shop, Starbucks, they formed a strategic alliance with the Pepsi company to distribute its bottled beverages before considering a further collaboration or acquisition. That is called strategic alliance, right? And there is something called joint venture. Joint venture is a business arrangement where the two or more parties agree to share the resources to accomplish a specific goal, right? It is not an acquisition, but joint ventures can lead to acquisition if the companies decide to integrate more fully after the venture success. For an example case, Sony Ericsson, that's a company, was initially a joint venture between Sony and Ericsson company. So that is a different company. Sony and Ericsson, they have a joint venture, and after years of collaboration, Sony fully acquired the Ericsson stake in the mobile business, right? So there is no Sony Ericsson, only Sony is right now. So that's what joint ventures, strategic alliance, external partnering are the ways of managing the acquisition. But internal restructuring, it is not all about the acquisition. Okay. And then let's move to the question number 21. The objective of project management is a successful project. A project will be deemed successful if it is completed. If it is completed to the employee satisfaction or customer satisfaction or without the need for an external contractor, so at the specified level of quality, on time, and within budget. Which one you will consider as a successful project? What is the answer, guys? Can you guess the answer? How, if a contract or project in a certain way it is finished, you will consider it as a successful project? What's the answer? D. Vidurshan. What's the answer? It is not only for the employee's satisfaction, it is not only for the customer satisfaction, or without working with external contractors, we cannot say that is an successful project. It is all about at the specified level of quality, on time, and within a budget we have to prepare. That is mean by a project management successful, right? So the objective of a project management is we have to ensure that a project is successfully completed according to it is predefined scope and timeline and budget. So the project is considered successful if it meets this criteria. Okay. So it is not only about employee satisfaction. So while employee satisfaction is important for an overall productivity and team morale, but it is not a direct measure of project success, right? So customer satisfaction also It is certainly an important measure of success, but it is a more subjective criterion, right? Project success is typically measured against specific objective, criteria like, scope, time, and cost. And without the need for external contractors, no. The use of the external contractor is not a factor in determining the project success. Many projects successfully utilize the external contractors when if it is necessary. Okay. So the correct answer is going to be the D, as you all choose. And let's move to the question number 22. Quality, cost, and time are normally regarded as the yardsticks. Yardsticks means measurements. Okay. Yardstick against which a project success is measured, as I told you in the previous question also. It is possible to add a fourth yardstick. Which of the following should this be? It means, okay, quality or cost and time. Okay, it is normally, we are measuring these with a project success. If it is fourth one, which one you will include? I have already explained this in the previous question also. Which one you will include if it is a fourth measurement? If it is a scope or audit approval, well-sourced consultants, or technology development? It could be. Yes, Subhashini correct, Ashwa correct, Vidushan correct, Sajita. It's all about scope, right? The functionality, a predetermined scope. Before we start the project, okay, this is the scope, this is the limitation, right? This is the boundary of our project. It is outlining what is included and what is not. It is considered a core component of a project management. Normally we will call as an iron triangle: scope, time, and cost. Okay. So for an example, guys, in a software development, scope is very important. What are the specific features that must be included in a final product? Right? That is scope. So a project, it should be completed on a time, within the budget, within the high quality. But if doesn't include all the required features, it means the scope, it will not meet the project's objective. So these make scope is an important measure of success in a project management. So the actual answer I am choosing is A. Okay, that is the correct answer. The audit approval means, it is refers to some process of, evaluating the financial or operational aspects of a project. After we complete, some audit will go on. Okay. So the audit is ensure that project follows some regulations, some standards. They are not the primary measures of the success, in a project management. Audits is verify the compliance, but they do not define whether the project has achieved its intended objective. Okay, that is means scope, cost, or quality. That is not. And well-sourced consultant, it can help them manage. It can help to manage or execute some projects, but their presence doesn't necessarily define the project success. So while having the right expertise is important for the success, but we are measured in results now, time, cost, quality, and scope, not by the people or resources involved, right? So I hope so you understood. And technology development, I just told you, it's just a part of a project, but it is not a measure of the success of the project, right? That's why we are choosing A is the correct answer. And let's move to the question number 23. How many phases are considered standard for a project life cycle? So guys, actually, these are some areas we already have. How many phases are there? It is in your syllabus also, actually, I think. Project life cycle. There are 4 cycles in your project life cycles. Can you remember? A. A or B? 4 or 6? It is going to be 4, my dears. Okay. I think this is also in your old syllabus area, I think. It is in your old syllabus, maybe. It's like, initiation, planning, execution, closure. I think it is in your old syllabus area, maybe. Okay. There are 4. And 24th, one of the questions that the organization needs to ask prior to acquiring a new technology, right? If we are gonna acquire a new technology, what is the primary questions we have to ask ourselves? Anyone? What is that? For a development or something, we are going to acquire some technology to create some softwares or systems or something. So what is the question before you acquire that technology from external parties? Right? 24th. Will the customer like the presentation of your one? Who will implement? Can this technology be developed in-house? Does the organization have a sales strategy? It means the first one, see guys, as a development team, you have to consider before acquiring means what? Acquiring means we are going to have that technology from external people. So before we have to think about, can this technology be developed in-house? In-house means within our company or within our firm, right? Because when an organization consider acquiring a new technology, the key questions to ask is whether it can be developed internally or not. Because this decision help determining whether the company has the necessary expertise, resources, and infrastructure to build a particular technology, or they should consider purchasing it from external vendors. That means acquiring. Because in-house development, it can offer very great control over your customization, integration, your intellectual property, but it may require very significant investment, right? Like time, skills, resources. So this is the questions you have to ask whether before you acquire a new technology for your organization needs. For example, Netflix, they originally, guys, they have outsourced uh, their cloud infrastructure needs to AWS. As I show you AWS website, Amazon Web Services, Netflix in the original times, they have outsourced their cloud infrastructure to AWS. But after time, gradually they have developed their in-house tools to manage the parts of their cloud operations, right? So the company, they had to ask if certain technology, such as streaming algorithms and recommendation engine, because Netflix, they have their own algorithms, they have on their recommendation engine, so they could be developed internally, that technology, to better serve its unique needs and maintain the competitive advantage. So AWS, they can give some, not a customized version, there is an option for all the people, so whether we can buy that one or not. But if it is an inbuilt technology, so we can have our own customization according to our needs. So that's what the question is very important. Can this technology developed in-house or not? And will the customer like the presentation? The customer satisfaction also important, but it is not a critical question to ask before acquiring a new technology. And who will implement it? While in identifying and implementing team is important, but this is not the first for most critical question when we are considering a technology acquisition. And does the organization have a sales strategy? No, it is sales also very important, but it is not directly related to acquiring a technology. So that's what we are choosing a C as an answer. And 25, there are a variety of reasons why an organization might require a new technology. Which of the following is applicable? Okay, so there are so much of reasons why an organization might require a very new technology. So which of the following is applicable? Can you choose? The CEO would like to invest, the organization would like to change, the current technology is too good, or the old management information system lacks functionality. So which one is the most good reasons to acquire new technologies? Can you guess the answer, guys? Very simple question. It's not a hard question. It's a very simple question. If you have a common knowledge, common sense, yep, you can guess the answer. So Subhashini, C, and what about other people? Because too good mean, guys, the current technology is very good. Even if it is very good, you will choose a new technology? No, right? So the answer, guys, for this, it is going to be D. The old management information system lacks functionality. Lacks means it's not good. Lacks word is it's not good. There are drawbacks, right? So the D is the answer. So old management system. So because this can be a primary reasons for organization to acquire a new technology, because the existing system, the old system, they no longer meet the organization requirement, and it is outdated in terms of functionality. So as businesses grow, their needs also evolve, right? So the older systems may not have the capabilities to handle the new demands, such as processing millions of volumes of data and integrating with modern applications and offering advanced reporting tools. The older system cannot give. So when an organization's technology is insufficient or inefficient, it becomes necessary to upgrade or replace it with a more functional system. So that's the most suitable reason, right? Right. So that's what the D is the answer. And the CEO, CEO desire to invest in important software, but it is not a valid reason, right? For CEO, if CEO likes, but it is not giving more competitive advantage for a company, no, you cannot. And the organization would like a change. Wanting a change is not sufficient reason to acquire a technology. There should be a considerations. And the current technology is good. It's a current technology is good. There is no need to replace it. Yeah, the good technology that meets the organization requirements is an asset. We don't need to have it as a reason to change it. Okay, so the reason is D. And let's move to focus on the question number 26. MC Kinsey's reports suggest that technology, it means digital transformation, can drive businesses value in how many ways? Any idea about this question? Can you guess? Can you make a guess? Is it within our syllabus area? In how many ways it suggests, it values, right? 4 ways, right? So it is in, I think, old syllabus. I think it is in old syllabus, study text, it is there. Okay. So it means enhancing the customer experience, operational efficiency, improving, creating new business model, enhancing decision making. I think it is in old syllabus text. And 27, which of the following is a type of acquisition model that can be chosen by the organization prior to acquiring a new technology? So type of acquisition model that can be chosen by the organization prior to acquiring a new technology. Is it joint venture or customer self-assessment, HR approval, or technology development campaign? What is that? I already explained to you. Before they, as I told you, Sony Ericsson, can you remember? Before they have a type of acquisition model, they will first choose to work with a joint venture as a separate organization. Then after that, they will have a full acquisition. Can you remember that? What is that model? That is called joint venture. So the answer is going to be A. It is not about a customer self-assessment or something. It is not about that one. Or HR approved technology development campaign, or these are something different. So the answer is actually joint venture, right? So joint venture is the answer. That is A part. Because of why? Because the joint venture is a kind of type of acquisition model where the two or more organizations come together and they will have to pursue a particular project with their business. So they will share the risk, cost, and also rewards. For example, when an organization acquiring a new technology, they may choose a joint ventures as a strategic option to gain access to technology and resources, but that they don't currently possess. In a joint venture, both parties, they have contribute for the money, resources, and the collaborations. So it allows them to have that expertise and reduce the risk involved in acquiring or developing a technology, because if one company fail, everything is gone, right? As I told you, joint venture between Sony and Ericsson, it formed in 2001. Then Sony's expertise in consumer electronics with Ericsson's telecommunication technology. So Sony have an expertise in a consumer electronics, but Ericsson have a telecommunication technology. So those two joint venture, it allows both companies to benefit from each other's strengths. So ultimately developing mobile phone with enhanced functionality. So they share the risk and also costs involved acquiring a new technology and penetrating the competitive with the mobile phone market. Right. So that's the actual thing. So the customer self-assessment, that is something different. So it's like a tool that allows customers to evaluate their own needs or satisfaction with the product or service. This is not an acquisition model. Okay. And HR approved, like it is responsible for managing the employee related matters like recruitment, training, or policy enforcement. Right. That is. And technology development campaign, it is like, it is like an efforts aimed to developing marketing a new technology. So technology development campaign. It is not a formal acquisition model. So actually, joint venture is a model. Joint venture is the one model. And the final question, a strategic alliances. As I already explained to you about strategic alliance. What is that? Strategic alliance, I think. What is that? Can you guess the answer? Because in a previous questions, I have already explained to you about strategic alliance. It is a focused campaign or type of vendor awareness program or type of external partnering involves cooperation between two or more parties or way of monitoring strategy. What is that? Yes, Sajida, correct. A type of external partnering that involves cooperation between two or more parties. That is C. Okay. So guys, these are from your previous old syllabus areas, but most probably, okay, so the areas not in the questions will be tested for you. Okay. The areas will be tested for you is like, technology S curve. There is no place in the question. The stages of S curve. Okay. And levels of strategic competitive, the sources, the technology transfers, channels of technology transfer. So these are the new areas completely change it. So we don't have revision kits. So you have to go through with our notes for this chapter 1 actually. Okay. Because entirely there is no questions on technology S curve and the major stages in the S curve. It will be definitely in your exams, but not in the revision kits. Okay. So for this 10 percentage, do the questions, but do not rely entirely on the revision kits, because this area replaced with artificial intelligence and things, and the same thing with the part B also. So most probably uh, have kind of good focus on the notes I have provided you, right? And that's all, guys, for your part A 10 percentage from your revision kit. And let's move in part B in the next classes, okay? And thank you, guys. Thank you for your love and time, patience for a long period of time being in the class. That's it. So see you next classes. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.